Uh,
I'm
I'm,
trying. I'm
hey,
trying.
we live. We are live. We are still setting up. Shout out to Don Juan, the Mac
Got one.
there, and he's having an icy night right now driving home from work.
Yeah.
So we are operating fully under Yoda
Well, let's let
right
them
now.
know who we are then. Let's let them know who we are. Because I think, I
That
hope,
was it.
I
Oh,
hope that we can get some.
welcome to the
Welcome,
Pro
welcome.
Quo Show.
Yeah, we're
And
here. We made it.
to the left of me is my man who
It is Pro, and to the right of me would be
is
Quo. But
oh,
I always get tricked up with the right left thing here because it depends from which
which
vantage
angle
point.
you're looking at. That's
But you're
very,
you're
very
next to
honest.
me. That is a true statement. You are next
Yes,
to
we
me.
are adjacent to each other.
My brother is next to me.
Yeah, welcome to the Pro Quote Show, everybody. And again, we are operating without Don Juan the Mac, but shout out to hiphopcitizen.com for letting us all come together on the podcast here. And we have a very special night tonight, don't we, Pro?
We do, we do. Would you care to tell us why it's so special tonight? What's so special for you to come out and say special? I mean, they're all special, so
Yeah,
this must be
definitely.
something real special to you. I don't
I
understand
think
what
I
that would
think I
be.
could put a leak on it. So in the green room, we do have my fiance Shenifer,
What?
and also my cousin Catherine are going to be doing a little segment tonight called Wine and
What?
Dine.
I see them back there. I see them in people land back there. I see y'all. Hey.
Yeah, so it's going to be a real special night. Plus, we have a couple additions too. We might be talking about 5 minutes of flame.
5 minutes flames. Absolutely. Yeah. So
I think that
we
might be
gotta let
happening.
people know what that is if they don't know. You want me to do the honors, or you
I
want to break
think
it down?
I think you could play the video, or is that going to be
I
too
could
much
I
right
could
there?
probably do it. I'm not Don Juan. That is definitely true. But
But
I'm
I
going.
think you could pull it off.
I'm gonna. You know what? I could pull it off. Probably not quite yet. So I can pull it off a little later. I could probably do that a little
Facts.
later. But I'll
So,
get
but
that
how
up
was
there.
your week then, bro? We're gonna start there, bro.
My weekend, man. My week. My entire week or
Your
my
week,
weekend.
actually. I'm sorry, your week. We're in the weekend. That's how much of a
Absolutely.
week I've had.
It's
Every
there.
day is like a weekend for me.
My week has been it's been all right, man. It's all things considered, it's been okay. We had
Mm.
snow here. I know you had a lot more than we did. For those who haven't listened before, I'm in very northern Virginia in Alexandria in the DMV here, and from Boston like Jay Cruz, but Jay Cruz is now in the capital of snow because you're actually you went a little more north than
I did.
Boston because you needed more, right? You were like,
I
give me
did.
more snow.
I needed more crickets, more crickets in the
Yeah.
summertime, and more snow in the
Yep.
wintertime. And plus,
There's a few more
working at the
things you got
post
with that take.
office, my hands are like they're done from the
They're
cold.
not
Today was
not
blistering.
Calgon, you're saying? No,
No.
they're not Palm Olive. Yeah, yeah, Palm Olive is where I wanted to go with that. See, Calgon's Take Me Away, right? The bath time. Take Me Away.
Calgon, I you know what, you got me schooled,
And
bro.
that is why you need that. Sounds like an unofficial sponsor right off the bat, right there.
It
It
kind of does.
sounds like one. It's
It, you
not.
know, speaking of that Calgon, there was this one thing that I was putting my as I'm taking turning the bath on for my daughter and saying, hey, you know what? She starts singing Daddy Shark do 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 do. So today's official,
What?
most unofficial sponsor.
Who is it? Oh,
Oops, now wait.
what? What? Wait a minute. Wait, I gotta
Oh, it's
move the
upside
banner.
down. It's upside down.
Hold on. Hold on. Whoops. We don't want to see me. See, this is why we need Don Juan. See, look at this. I'm like,
Look
yeah,
at
look
that.
at it. Love
The,
it. It's there. We go.
that right there is the Baby Shark Ultimate Bath Art Studio. Thank you, Gigi, for giving Remy such a special gift that she hasn't
Hold
opened
that
yet.
up.
Because I'm like, I ain't trying to clean it. Look at that.
Hold that up high. Oh wow, yeah. So you're telling me that's Nickelodeon? Okay, so that's
Yep.
Nickelodeon's putting that
Got
out
the
there too.
PlayStation on, you know.
That's big time right there.
Yeah.
While we're actually already talking about unofficial official sponsorship show, I gotta go with, well, technically it's, I was going with the author, not the publisher, but I guess I'm going with, um, indirectly I'm going with St. Martin's Press because they're who put it out. But Michael Eric Dyson, you got to do it. Long time coming.
Long
Got the
time
new
coming.
book. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. A brilliant and fiercely eloquent work that traces the roots of racism, freeing Jim Crow to police brutality and the plague of black killings in our own day in gorgeous prose. Wow, I'm going on, but anyways, yeah, got to pick yourself up.
That looks
Pick yourself
amazing.
up a copy. It's a light read. You can bang it out in a day and a half. Even though I've had it for 3 days and I have not finished. But
Well,
and
there's
that's
a reason
because of the
behind that,
week that
though.
you asked me about. There
Yeah,
is,
there's a
yes.
reason.
This week has been on top of the jobs, and if you don't know, my man Quo is delivering to you on a daily basis in multiple ways. He is delivering that mail, and I work for UDC, as does our guest. In fact, we're both at UDCCC here in the nation's capital, but we're working from home. So on top of all that stuff, when that finishes, this music stuff has been crazy, Jay Cruz.
It really
It's been
has,
a crazy,
man.
crazy week.
We
It's
have a
been a
beautiful
crazy
thing
week.
coming together too, man. But look, you have to go through the hustle and the grind and the tedious work and making sure that you put out reach your goals, right? Because reality
Mm,
is we're going to be closing in on the final mixes of this within a few weeks.
absolutely.
19 records,
Abs-
something that takes people, to put together. Well, we put together, a 5-year project in
mhm.
a couple months, you
Yeah,
know. So it's
absolutely.
impressive, man.
It's been a lot of midnight oil, that's for sure.
Yeah.
We're calling each other way too often in times we should be sleeping. That is
Yeah.
definitely
12
that.
o'clock text message. My eyes are, I'm peeling. I'm like 12:30. I'm like, yo, I'm falling out. But look at this is what I think about this. Listening to the collection and everything. I love it though, man. You're putting the collection together beautifully, by
Yeah,
the way.
man.
I know I've said it, but I had to say it loud because you really
Oh
are.
well. Hey, and I know what you're doing on those mixes too, and not to mention on the reconstruction on some of these lyrics that has been a grind. Yo, let's actually hit them with something right now. In fact, let's find something. I'll let you, since you're talking about the playlist. There's the playlist. What do you want to pick, man? What do you want to go with?
I was gonna
The
actually,
playlist
because
is really for,
I know, I feel like because
it's
of
deep.
the position of it, that I wasn't nothing is really
Mm,
hitting me hard, man. I think we need to play that. And this record is produced by my man M. Dot. We just, we linked up last weekend during the blizzard, or when it wasn't really a blizzard, but that snowstorm. We
mm,
did some, video shooting for his video Level Up with this dude from Poland, I want to say. And I think I'm misquoting the record, but man, it was a fun time. We went down there, I met a lot of cool people, and
Shout out
Dramatic
to M.
actually
Dot.
shot it. Yeah, Dramatic from the
Dramatic.
Wolves, he shot it.
Lawrence Matz.
Um, but yeah, man, let's get into this record. This is called I Wasn't Nothing. It's a really dope vibe, man. I hope y'all enjoy.
Cool.
When they was telling me I wasn't nothing. When they was telling me I wasn't nothing. It's the show shot, making metaphor drop. Hanging on to something since I grew up on the block. People take you down and break it down to what you got. Looking at your feet, calculations getting dropped. Listening to beats, you try to break up out the box. Losing lots of sleep cause we be doing what you not. Fueling all my heat, these when it's cold up in the spot. Gassing all these sheets when I be speaking off a top. Supplying for these streets, I ain't bigger without pop. I be lying to you each if I don't tell you what the Scots. I'm either trying or I'm dying. When I'm riding over chops, think I'm flying and I'm crying over everything I mop. When they was telling me I wasn't nothing, I called it on my brothers and my cousins. I never lie to me, that's how we function. Ride or die, that's the only thing we trusted. When they was telling me I wasn't nothing, I called it on my brothers and my cousins. I never lie to me, that's how we function. Ride or die, that's the only thing we trust. My dean passed me through the school system. Spit rhymes in the classroom, everybody different. D- to an A+. Mass finest, pull the grades up. I don't want a day once trying to buy today's lunch. Lenny told me blaze up before your day's up. Figured how to raise the maze up, I probably praise luck. And y'all drinking, Morpheus hands and y'all thinking. Glorious lands where man's driven. Glorious band seeing addition. Multiply facts, subtract all of the subscriptions. Modified raps react to the truth given. 34 C's on the line, rock swishing. MCs, I look for anything missing. Just bees need to see the 7 C's in collision. Yeah, believe superstition. Got the reeds in the kitchen. Their weight, more attention, fair weight, hard hitting. It's a cruise expedition, cruise line through the threads that I'm stitching. Blue lines, cocaine, not envisioned. Red lights, no brass on a mission. When they was telling me I wasn't nothing, I called on all my brothers and my cousins. They never lied to me, that's how we function. The pain inside of me got the abduction. When they was telling me I wasn't nothing, I called on all my brothers and my cousins. I never lied to me, that's how we function. Ride or die, that's the only thing we trust.
If y'all know the mathematics is sick and prose and nastiest, then what's the reason why you will cross me like x-axis? You watch your mind when I rhyme, weaving the narrative, conceived more clean since probably Jesus of Nazareth. Now what you see is the second coming of Lazarus. Lyrics fit for museums, lines cover pages like atlases. These Mary Magdalene feet clean with no calluses. Went from the street teams to sweet dreams and palaces. Swinging the Excalibur swift, lifting these chalices, dipping these feather pens into ink, thinking of passages. Had no talent for rapping, my class average was falling deep in the labyrinth, eating, sleeping these battle raps. My math aptitude evidence since the 3rd grade, verbal skills ever since then, murderous wordplay. Mostly my attitude, only thing ever challenged me. That's why I show my faculty gratitude when they challenge me. Lord, baby, ain't no one bad on me.
Man,
And there it is. Yeah, man.
I'm
We're
really
still tweaking,
feeling
man.
that.
All
Still a
rough
little bit
drafts,
here and
but
there.
y'all.
Again, that's probably at a good 72%.
72%. That track
Yeah.
or the whole thing? Yeah,
The
man.
whole, that whole track, about 72.
Yeah, man. It's about you can get in about 7.
Yeah.
But we play it for you anyways. And you know
Yeah.
we got to play later. I think because we got Yahweh coming back later on in the show. I hope.
That's correct.
And
Yes.
we might have to play one of his joints. And I think with it being Black History Month,
Mm-hmm.
and speaking of history, by the way, while we're touching on the topic, we got Dr. Giles Barber here, and she is an historian.
Yeah.
On top of being she's a fantastic person. I'm excited for y'all to meet her. But
wait.
but just the history of Freedom Corner in this month, man, we might have to run that.
Yeah, I
and
think so too, for sure.
And
Makes
he's
sense.
the
man.
only cat on the entire album who's featured twice, so he's got 2 joints on
Yeah,
there.
special dude, man. Really special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. I'm definitely excited about that.
Yeah.
So man, I know. Speaking of exciting, I know we got a few things going on this week. So you want to tell the people what we got coming up? I mean, what is this special guest situation going to be, Jay Cruz? I mean, it's more than meets the
Yeah.
eye, right?
So I think, for who we talking about this next set coming up right now?
We're talking about this next new set thing that I've.
This next new set thing is going to be really cool for the hip hop people.
All right. And why's that?
And I think that they're going to be able to get we push women up. You know what I'm saying? It's very important to respect your woman. And a lot of people in the hip hop culture forget that. So
Okay.
to have my family on here, 2 females, beautiful women, personality and beauty, to be able to just talk their girl talk and let the boys chime in for 5-10 minutes. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really cool thing for the hip hop community to have. And they might be able to get access to this maybe twice a month,
Okay.
you know?
Absolutely.
So yeah, you wanna bring in the females, get some of the estrogen up in here for the 5 minutes of wine and dine with Shen and Kath.
In fact, I think, let me see if I can pull this up. Let's see. I think we can do it this way. Let's, y'all seeing that, right?
Ooh.
And let me try restarting that. Let me try that one more time. It didn't want to cooperate. Let's try it. See if it wants to. It's not. How about that? Is that feeling better?
It looks the same to me.
How about now? How about now? Is it moving?
No.
No, man. It doesn't. It's not agreeing with me. It was like that. It's just shout out to Don Juan and why he's so important. You know what I mean? Because when I'm at the helm, sometimes it's not as beautiful as it should be. Let's try it this way. How about that?
Oh, there we go. I'm
That a
seeing
little
something.
better?
I'm seeing something. Yes, sir.
All right. So that's our flyer for this particular week. I was over
Mhm.
here. I was showing you what was going on. That was the whole thing here. Let me put this in big so y'all can see it. Well, that's about as big as we're gonna get it right now.
Mhm.
Anyways, I was trying to make it bigger, but let's go for it one more time. So we got Dr. Jawa's Barber, but we got Wine and Dine with Shen and Kath. We got 5 minutes of flames coming up. We already talked about Yahweh's in the building, but let's bring them in. Let's talk about this Wine and Dine with Shen and Kath and see what that's all about. And because I have no idea. I see the N in two places, Wine and Dine, and we got Shen and Kath. So
Yeah.
this
That could be some math in there, maybe.
this could be magical. So let's without further ado, let's try to bring them into the place here. What's going
Oh,
on?
ladies.
Hello.
Wine and Dine?
Oh, Shen, you're muted again, baby. So everybody welcomed Shen and Kath to this segment of Wine and Dine.
No, we can't hear you.
I hear you.
Still can't hear you, Shen.
I see her. She's moving
Yeah.
her hands well.
We can't hear you. she don't. Oh,
Oh, I missed your face.
That's kind of wild. She's trying. Don Juan's
She's
back
trying
there.
so bad.
He's smiling.
Can you hear
I think it's Don Juan doing it.
Shen, we can't hear you at all.
You can jump out if you want. If you want to jump out and jump back in, I'll bring you back.
Yeah,
in.
let me try to fix her situation.
It's all good. Well, and you know what? We'll be like, Don Juan, what's going on back there?
Hey, fellas, just trying to see if my mic is turned on.
You're looking good. You sounding good. We're about to do this Wine and Dine section, but we're trying to get Shen some audio. So
Yeah, I see that there. I was just going to see if I can try to do some virtual assistance there. Hi, Shen. Give me thumbs up if you can hear me. I think she can hear me, Shen. Maybe there's the mic setting there. I don't know if she's on the phone or that, but I'll work on that behind the scenes, pro. But
all right,
great
I'll
to
send
see
you
you
back.
guys.
All right, you too.
Great to see Catherine as well.
Bam.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you, Catherine.
Okay.
Well, Catherine, you'll have to like point to your to the side. You'll be like doing some kind of hand signals or something. But until we get her straight. But anyways,
How's it going? Thank you for having me back.
Yeah, no doubt. How you been?
Good. How are you?
Hanging in there, trying to survive, fighting the fight. Living with the snow, doing what we can.
Yeah, seriously, we're supposed to get more snow here.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I'm just kind of teasing when I say the snow. We had snow for like a day and a half maybe, and it's gone. So
Oh, you have nothing? No, we have a lot, and I think we have more coming. So
we did have it actually snowed for like 2 minutes, and then but it was cold too. It was like 33 or something.
Oh,
Can you hear me
Yes,
now?
yeah,
man.
Yes.
Here's to that.
absolutely. So Jay jumped off for a second, but y'all got to tell us what we're talking about here. What is Wine and Dine? Let us know what's going on with that.
Wine and Dine is just us. That's all. We did this thing. We actually, we started this with our other cousins too.
How the hell did I end up with one? Where did this come from? All right.
We would get together and just have a girls' wine night.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's
about like 9 of us.
9. Wow. Wine, dine with 9. Okay.
It's a good number.
Yeah. So we drink, we talk, we gossip. It's great.
Yeah.
So what's new? What's new?
Well, what's new is that it's Girl Scout cookie season, and I personally, I want, like, the grocery store, they don't have them anymore. I don't really know. I don't know if all of them have them, but I know where I'm from, they don't have anyone at grocery stores. So what I did, I was like, okay, I really just want some Samoas. And I went on Google and I was like, okay, there's got to be a way. I keep seeing the random people post it. I'm like, where are you getting them? And I'm not really like, oh my God, I need, Girl Scout cookies. But then one night I decided to go Google and I was like, okay, where can I find these? And they're like, oh, now because of COVID, they're not going to the grocery stores. You can order them online. And I went through the rabbit hole to find it. And I did. And I ordered like 6 boxes. And I'm like, why wouldn't you? And of course,
no.
they came like a week later, gave me the wrong box, but that's okay. I still support the girls.
That's it. That's the bottom,
This is Girl Scout cookies.
most important thing.
Listen, I only mess with the Samoas because that's my favorite. I don't care about whatever other flavors they got.
Delight. It used to be Caramel Delight, or they kind of are still. I don't know. I'm confused because the box still says Caramel Delight.
So
What about the Thin Mint? Go ahead, Pro. Go.
No, I
Go
was,
ahead,
I was
Pro.
gonna say.
You know what
I
do.
was wondering how. I was wondering how we jumped to the Girl Scout cookies from the wine. Like, does that have something? Like, what is the wine and dine? Is what I'm trying to get at. Like, you drink wine and eat Girl Scout cookies?
Yes.
You know,
I see.
yeah. When you drink, you munch, and why not munch with
Ah.
Girl Scout cookies? And obviously, like I'm like, okay,
I see.
Gotta
So
have
that's
food.
the dine. The Girl Scout cookies is the dine part of the wine.
There you go.
Well, Catherine
You
will
gotta
tell
eat.
you
I spent money on
I'm always hungry.
I see. I see. So y'all. So how often y'all get together and do this? Is this like every day or every weekend or what?
no, we haven't done this in a really long time because of COVID.
Since summer. Since
Yeah.
summer.
Yeah.
This is gonna this kind of allows it. You know, this is a great platform for that to happen.
Right. So so you're continuing wine and dine here on the Pro Quo show, but you have yet to. Are you going to be doing a wine and dine multiple times for maybe more folks to see? Is this going to be something we're going to be
Maybe.
able to see? Oh, okay.
don't know.
All right. I see.
Look at Shannon. She's like, yeah.
We are.
I'm not sure if this is crowd participation.
We're going.
Like- I see. So everyone needs their refreshment of choice.
Any
when the
yeah.
wine is on.
Doesn't have to be wine.
Just for 5 minutes.
Could be.
Because
but-
there's girls in
right?
our group that only drinks beer, and I'm a wine chick, so
Yeah, I'm a wine girl. We're wine girls.
I see.
That's the elegant part of it all. All right? When you drink wine, it's elegant.
You know what's so crazy is that no matter what you put in a wine glass, it tastes better. I'm just saying.
This sounds like the potential of a real unofficial official sponsor, right? And Pro's not a drinker, but you know what I mean? Quo does his thing, you know what I'm saying? So it could be sponsored by Quo and
Well, actually, we'll have Shen.
Shen and
Who's
Quo.
that unofficial sponsor? Show that bottle again. Shout them out.
Well, I can't get the lighting right, but it's barefoot. Oh shit!
Okay.
And I have Josh.
I don't know.
Why
It's
would
barefoot.
There you go.
Oh, speaking of Baby Shark, though, this is Adult Shark.
Okay.
And
Ah,
what that?
adult
Mhm.
shark. Got you. I see some people toasting and cheering over there. Gary's got
I can't.
Gary's got his bottles up.
Cheers, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. I got my water. Actually, I don't know where I put my water, but
I
gotta
do.
get
I
something
have.
harder.
I've got my water too. Water's
Which
great
for me
you,
is
man.
Diet Caffeine-free Coke, and I don't, I'm gonna have to.
So hey,
excuse
Shen,
myself soon.
what's the latest gossip? I mean, I know you got something for us. What's the latest gossip in hip hop? What's the latest hip hop gossip you got?
Hip hop. Ooh.
Yeah.
Y'all sit around and talk about gossip when you wine and dine too.
Oh
That's what
yeah.
y'all do.
What don't we talk about?
So it goes with everything. I see what you.
Everything.
It's like
We
cheese
talk
and
about
crackers.
And by the time that we're done, I kid you not, we look at the clock and like, oh my gosh, it's like 5 o'clock in the morning. We gotta go home. What we doing?
Oh,
Yeah.
He's like, I gotta
I
work.
guess I'm staying.
So let me ask this for technicality reasons here for everybody watching. So Shen, are you in the same house right now with Quo? Are you guys like in separate rooms? What's going on here?
Yeah, we're in separate rooms. Like, you got your
I
own
see.
space. I got my own space. I need my space.
Absolutely.
I
Hey,
love
as you
that.
see, I'm in the slanted ceiling. You know that's been thrown, that's been set up and established in the
She,
Plord
look
household.
at, she got the long walk-in closet. You know what I'm saying? As
Absolutely.
soon as soon as we saw that,
Somewhere in the
yeah, I got
hallway.
this.
I don't know.
I got this little, Tupperware drawer.
Yeah,
All
man.
your shirts gonna go in there.
Stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got enough stuff to have a walk-in closet. That
Yeah,
ain't
I
happening.
really don't.
I'm in the walk-in closet. This is pretty much it.
I can't.
Pretty much
I
the walk-in
can't,
closet.
dude. I can't wait for my walk-in closet to look like that. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you'll be in there.
So again, Shen, tell me what's up with Wendy? What's up with the newest thing going on? You know so much about it. Tell the
Who the
people.
hell is Wendy?
Oh. Ooh.
I'm just kidding.
Is that some salt?
Yeah, that's insult.
I feel like y'all have a little side conversation that I have not been privy to, but now I'm
I don't
looking
know
through the
either.
window. I feel like I'm getting the glimpse into the world of something.
our relationship.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
I shit on him and he shits on me. We
I
were
see.
good.
Is that how it
No,
works?
I like messing with him, and he loves picking on me, and he makes me embarrassed sometimes. And
No.
punch him
Occasionally.
back.
I like making her laugh, so sometimes you gotta, poke. It's a little bit, but
I feel that what he needs to do is get you a real mic like he has. Like, why does he get the good
next
mic
up.
and you get the headphone mics?
I ain't about those.
He's got to hook you
This
up.
is like, yeah,
This is gonna be a regular appearance kind of thing, Jay. You
Well,
gotta come up
because
with
the
some.
mic will get in the way of the sipping, so I don't know.
Oh,
There it is.
already cupped up.
Absolutely,
Mm-mm-mm.
absolutely. Yo, speaking of women, and you were asking about hip hop or whatever, Rolling Stone today, right? About like an hour and a half before we went out, they put out a whole thing on the history of female MCs and the history of hip hop. And yeah, it just came out. It's like a little podcast that they got as well. You can search it real quick. They run through like the whole backstory of how women have been central to hip hop, and so often it's told through the lens of men telling the story, right? But there were female MCs right from the jump, you know, and it's crazy. I mean, everyone thinks about the typical, you know, female MCs that you hear about, but there's a lot of MCs in there too that never quite got
In
the
the
shine
background.
that they should have, who were pioneers of hip hop. So shout out to the women, shout out to hip hop.
And speaking of women, just I'm unofficially bringing this, but TikTok has girls on there who spit. It is unreal. The things I
Yeah.
get. They
Like a
are,
rabbit hole.
some
where
of them are young and they just sit in their car and they're doing. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my, that
For real.
it's incredible. It's a great platform, but
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy though, but Danny White's coming up next week for 5 Minutes of Flames. His TikTok following is insane. I mean, he went from like, you know, I feel like 30 people to 30,000 like overnight, you know, and now he's like he's feeding the beast all the time. You know, it's content, but he's got ill content. He's
That's where
just
I found
rhyming in his
him.
car, literally
Yeah.
all the time. He's dope.
That's where I found him. I found him on TikTok, and he's a local cat too.
But
which
they're
is
right
crazy.
though. There's female MCs all over
Oh,
the
my
place
goodness.
on there,
Yeah.
and I always hear people go, "Yo, where are the female rappers at?" And they're on TikTok.
They're on
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely, Kath.
because it's a huge platform, but I can tell people feel comfortable doing it because you're not, people are liking or commenting, but it's not like other platforms where I can't explain it, but you know, when you're on it, you can tell that these people are like, all right, I've never done this before, but here we go. And the responses and the comments are so awesome. Like people aren't negative.
Right. I
Like
mean,
that
you know,
box.
yeah, and you can sift that out too.
Right,
Yeah, for the
right.
most part, it's people. Well, I think what it is on TikTok, people are so quick to look for the next thing. You know what I mean? It's like, oh no, let me
Right,
find the
I'm
next.
yeah.
thing.
guilty. I'm like,
You're
I'm
guilty of
guilty.
that?
I have a short attention span. Like, I need, come on, keep going.
Now let me ask you this though, Shen. Let's be honest.
I mean,
Are there hip hop songs that you would have never heard of that you only heard of through TikTok and now you're aware of? Is it working?
Yeah,
Absolutely,
it
right?
definitely is. And then
Yeah.
I want to go and see what else they've done. If I've seen just like the 30 seconds of whatever they did,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, that was good. Let me
Mm-hmm.
click. Let me
Yeah,
Or you
look
see
at
the
that.
dance and you're like, I see the dance sometimes and I'm like, you know, I haven't heard this track. Let me actually go look at the real video.
there's
you
so
know?
many
yeah.
songs that I now hear, like I'll hear on the radio or hear on something.
It's a TikTok.
And I'm like,
thing.
oh my gosh, I heard that from TikTok. This is the song. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Yeah.
For real. Yeah.
She's turned me on to a lot of music from Hip Hop Atlanta, right? Loving Hip Hop in Atlanta.
Okay.
I mean, some really dope artists like that Money Joint. Who was that artist name? Remember her? Money.
You're so
Man.
big. Like,
That record. When she's like, I'm Money. That and it was yo. Lackey. Yeah, she's real nice. Yeah. It's out there. You just have to, you have to.
It's funny too because like Jay and I can certainly tell you when you're in the midst of recording, it's kind of when you're listening to the least. Like so I feel like in the last 2 months I've been kind of in this insular bubble where I haven't had the time really to listen to anything. You know what I mean? You're trying to stay in your own little zone. So I feel like whatever's come out in the last couple of months, I've missed it unless I'm driving to the corner store to get takeout or something in my car for 5
So
minutes.
true.
You know, listening on the radio. And by the way, yesterday when I did, first thing I heard on a local radio station here, they were playing a TikTok joint. You know, and they make it a point to play TikTok joints.
Yeah.
You know,
You
so
see TikTok commercials on regular TV. I'm like, wait, TikTok?
Oh,
is
yeah.
doing
Yeah.
that thing?
shout out to
Like,
Gary over there too. He's saying the same thing. He's like, I got to get hip to this TikTok thing. You do, Gary,
She's
man.
Yeah.
very hooked on this, and I was like, okay, everyone, I'm like, guys, you got to get on there. I'm telling you, the things you learn, the things you
Mhm.
hear, it's just.
But you got to be careful when you have kids, because I had
You got to be careful. Yeah,
TikTok.
exactly.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
My 10-year-old's phone.
Yeah.
Because she was watching dudes with no shirts on, and I was like, "Hey, it ain't happening up in here."
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you got to be careful not to suck your life away too, because you got to have it in moderation, right? Because if you got 10 minutes here and there, it's cool. 5 minutes, 10, but you can find yourself going down the bunny trail, just like
Oh my God, yeah.
people watching conspiracy videos on
Yeah.
YouTube, for
Tell you,
instance.
they're
Right?
like,
To all the people out there that are trying to experiment with TikTok, that are like, business oriented with the art or a craft or something, you want to spend a good week on it, learning it, building an algorithm and studying it. But when you start getting lost and you're just watching it for entertainment, that's where we're pros saying like that's a rabbit hole you don't want to go down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what I meant about if you're doing something like a project you got going on, it's like, whoa, all that stuff will take you right away. You know what I mean?
I stopped going my feed. I go to my notifications. I do it in increments. I'm on my messenger all day with Pro. So I'm, I don't have time to scroll my feed. I'm just posting and leaving kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it is healthy to do some scrolling, when I have more time, I'm going to go back to that for sure. But right now it's like post.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, I started this at like 8. Why is it like 11? What? I need to go to bed.
Exactly.
What?
Yeah.
And it tells you too. They'll be like, "Stop! You've taken too long. You're scrolling so much. Get away from your phone."
You gotta go to bed. I'm like, all right, you don't gotta be yelling at me. Shit.
And it's funny too. You find like, I don't know how many people in your household, but we only got 3, and one of them 7 years old, and the other's my wife, right? And it's everybody more and more. It really is. It's like everybody has their device, and you literally don't have to leave your device unless somebody tells you to and says, you know what, it really is time to sleep. You can be sitting there. It's been that way for years, but now it's to the point where our kids are like, I went and got, like I was talking about getting that takeout, right? I went and got samosas, right? So I'm at this restaurant grabbing samosas as takeout. Love my samosas, by the way, which reminds me, I got one downstairs. Shout out to the samosa store. Yeah. But now the deal is I go in there and there's a kid and he looks the exact same age as my son, who's 7, and he's perched up on the chair, and I don't even have to see him to know he's clearly on some kind of a video device, right? It's like that's what every kid is doing, and it's scary to the point of it's like that's how we are raised. We talked about how previous generations were raised on phones or whatever. No, this generation is at the hip.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. This kid, sure enough, he's on his dad's phone, sitting there behind the bench while his dad's getting the food ready. I'm assuming it's his dad, and this kid was like, zoned in, and my kid can be that way too, and we're always trying to figure out ways to limit it and whatever, but we got to limit ourselves too. COVID has made it crazy, i.e. look at the show we're doing, but it's like it's tricky.
This is the thing. This is the
each other.
biggest issue with it is like when my 10-year-old, right, and she's like, I said, look, what do you want to be when you grow up, kind of thing. I'm dropping that kind of story, like get her thinking about that now. And she couldn't answer me, and I asked 10 different ways, still couldn't answer me, and everything reverted back to the phone or iPad or something like that.
Sure, yeah.
So I said, okay, remove the iPad from the equation. What you gonna do? She's like, oh no, I'm like going to bed. I'm so upset right now, like I can't even think, So
ask him next time. Try to do this one right, because my son the same thing. He'll say he wants to be a YouTube gamer, or he wants to ask him what problem they want to solve in the world. Get away from the job thing, and they'll give you all kinds of things. Then you can sort of maybe give them a gentle nudge in the direction. Be like, what thing do you not like about the world? Or what thing do you love about the world and you want to enhance? Or one of those things. That way they don't feel like it's like a job they have to. You can make it your job. You can be quo. You know what I'm saying? You can.
So I try my best to do.
Millions off of TikTok, so I think she can figure it out.
That's a job for me. Well, ladies, we got to get you up and out of here for a second, unless you want to hang, because we're bringing up people for 5 minutes of flames.
Yeah, hang in there if you want. You can come back in. You can say something about it.
Yeah. You want to check back in,
but we're not holding you to it.
Dog out because she's out of control right now. Take her out, but I will be here in the background.
No doubt. Anytime you're welcome. Bring us some more wine and dine. We're always welcome here for drinks and cookies. We a little gossip. That's all good.
Cheers.
All right, girls. Love y'all.
Thank you.
Peace.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll do a cheers with y'all. Pop. Last my little bit.
All good. Bang.
Yeah.
Yo, that was cool, man.
That was cool. Yeah,
so
chopping it up with the girls.
So they eat cookies, And they drink wine. It's basically
It's more.
what you're
It's
telling
more like they go out to a restaurant.
me. Yeah, yeah.
You know,
This
yeah,
is the virtual version.
Yeah, the virtual version is the cookies. Like they, you know, it's cool. But I got a huge family. I got like 15, 16 cousins, and
Wow.
yeah. So and my girl's really close with a lot of them. So they'll go out a girls' night, you know, and it's important for that, for like I said, the hip hop community, and you know, we gotta really respect our women and treat them like the ladies and queens that they are, you know. I had that one rhyme where I say, yo, I told my daughter cross your legs because you a lady. I say that, and I'm like, that's one of the realest rhymes I ever wrote.
I got
And
my daughter in the bath. That's the realest rhyme.
yeah, that is actually, I like that one a lot, especially with the baby shark.
Yeah, absolutely.
I gotta let her do it, bro. It looks so messy. I'm like, oh my goodness, like I haven't let her try it yet, but I think this weekend I'm gonna break it out.
You gotta have things all set with that, man. You gotta. That's a half day of planning right there.
Dude, that's a science project, bro.
Yo,
But
we gotta get this 5 minutes of
5 minutes of flames
popping.
up in there. We got a couple people in the backdrop. We're gonna bring them in now. Let the song play and then introduce them, huh?
Yeah, I think so. I think if I'm thinking correctly, I think we have 5 minutes of flames. We got a song called "Rise" coming up, and you know, you heard the song, Jay?
I did. I cheated.
Yeah, you cheat. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I was singing. I was talking to Tony V in the back there. Not the Tony V. You know, the other Tony V. I was talking to Tony in the back. I was like, "Yo, dog, I got this song bumping in my head already. Like I'm singing the song, you know." And then Lele popped in there. So I think she's back there too. And
Lele, yeah,
Lele, yeah. And I'm like, "Yo, this song's already in my head." So that's a good indication of
yeah. And from what I
yeah.
understand too, Tony, he mixed it all. He engineered the whole thing, and you know, it sounds clean. And
Yeah, no,
I
Dominic
definitely-
Beats. It's
yeah,
dope, man.
Dominic B. He's a well-known producer too in the underground. I think he was like SoundClick or something like that.
Word.
But yeah, let's bring this record on. 5 minutes of flames, man.
All right, let's do it. Let me make sure I got the good audio. I got it ready to run. Let's see. We're coming right from our email straight. This is where it comes from. All right, here we go. This is Rise. It was Rise.
It was. There it is.
Don't be afraid, just enjoy the ride. Hold on real tight, we're gonna take a drive. Come along with me, it's gonna be alright. Just wait till we rise.
Let's toast to class, now pop a bottle of champagne. Me and all my people got money, so keep your damn change. And we ain't looking for honeys, homie, the game changed. And if you ain't talking honeys, you need to switch lanes. It's fun to cross it up, so we about to boss it up. You know we floss it up, I told you that the sauce is us. The source is us, if you're mainstream, resorts a bust. Yeah, we underground, but with this beat we blowing up. We fantastic, all we making is magic. And if you listen to it, then you know that we the baddest. So turn it up, burn it up, and get your freak on. The way we flip it on a beat, it's a treat, son. Preach on, my homie, just preach on. And we about to kill it with this hook, yeah, we gon' preach on. And if you talking trash, you only talking madness. We don't burn down the house, we burn that bitch to ashes. Ah.
Don't be afraid, just enjoy the ride. Hold on real tight, we're gonna take a drive. Come along with me, it's gonna
Tony, we're gonna bring you in the room.
alright. Just wait till we rise.
This that walk out of brownstone, go collecting Dow tunes. Number one in the beeper, and then we out homes. Copy some piff on the block and then write poems. Got stock in these streets, but ain't no Dow Jones. Feel fantastic, chefing up writing classics. I'm always ready, my neighborhood full of madness. Manhattan raised me from the bridge to the action, and now from Tel Aviv to the casket, playing for the masses. Legend in the making, now I'm lamping. So now when I pass, I get my ass kissed. From Port Authority to Grand Central, now to the Hamptons. All of our names, y'all be chanting. Just cause the king of the caption. Ain't it funny how life happens? With one twist to the matchstick. Let me break it down into fractions. Y'all out the pitch of blackness, and the other half will draw from sadness. Damn it.
Don't be afraid, just enjoy the ride. Hold on real tight, we're gonna take a drive. Come along alright. Just wait till we rise. Don't be afraid, just enjoy the ride. Hold on real tight, we're gonna take a drive. Come along with me, it's gonna be alright. Just wait till we rise.
Yeah.
Real dope mix, man. That thing bangs.
Tony V, featuring Just Cause. Produced by Anno Domini.
Thank you.
Lele on the track.
Yeah, you could bump that all the way up and it's like still smooth. So that's a really good mix, man.
Yep.
Good work on that mix.
What up, Tony?
Tony
Yeah.
Tone. What's up,
Definitely
brother?
one of them tracks, man. Thank you.
We got Felix
Just
up
to
in here,
clarify,
too.
though. Hold on, real quick. Just to
Yeah.
clarify. Lele's producer, the dude she records with, he did do some of the mixing to it before he sent it to me. I just threw a little extra sauce on it.
Yeah, man. That's what it's all about, though. It's nice. Real nice.
We might be able to add her in too. She was up earlier for those of y'all who just checking in, but she did a great job on that hook, and it's I'm sure it's in other people's ears too, man. That's we were talking before you came up, man. Melodic for sure all day, and we got
Yeah.
people saying the same thing out there. Nice joint, yo.
Yeah,
Seeing all the comments, they're liking it.
And who was that? That was Robert too. Robert, we would love to play your record. We're really sorry to hear about your boy that passed away. There is a submission process. We can't just play it like live and stream it like that. But hit the email, this proquoteshow@gmail.com, and we'll be sure to, check you out for sure and your man's out and give him his proper play,
Yeah.
But let's focus on the second and none click with Tony Voorhees, Lele, Just Cause. Man.
How long you
Great
been doing
work.
your thing?
Yeah.
Tony, how long you been doing your thing, man? You sound like you got some years on that belt.
I mean, I started messing with music when it was like late 90s. I got some years. My feedback's a little latent, so not 12 years total. I've really been trying to get into music. Past 5 years, I've really been pushing it. 6 maybe.
That's dope. Tony, if you want, you can unplug your headphones now, man, if you need to. If it's a little better for you.
Felix
'Cause it's
also
probably-
up in here.
Yeah, Felix, what's up, brother?
Oh, word. All right. Yeah, that'll probably.
We got lag up in the building. There's the
What's
man.
up? What's up?
Oh, there we go.
What's up, Felix? Good to
What's
have you
up,
back.
brother?
You got your hands on that track right there too?
Oh yeah, of course. I hear everything before it comes out.
Absolutely.
Exclusives.
Absolutely. Radio friendly for sure. Webcast friendly too. Yeah.
Like I said, man, I got a team of killers, man. They fucking. This is 3 more of the crew. You only met 3 of them last week. Now this is 3
that's
more.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's deep. We talked about that. We're going to have to have multiple segments to get everybody
Back
up.
in the nub, baby.
Yeah, man.
So Tony, where'd you represent? Like, tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
See that's a complicated question, man, because I'm from
Uh-oh.
Massachusetts. I grew up in Massachusetts. I grew up in Rhode Island. I grew up a little bit in Connecticut. But like I live in Maine. I've been in Maine half my life, and I tell
Okay.
everybody I'm from New England. So I represent New England.
I like that. Yeah, definitely,
yeah.
man.
Absolutely. People make too much of a big deal about that in Massachusetts anyways. I mean, for years people have had the whole Cambridge-Boston divide has been a big thing. And then, people, you say Boston, you're damn if you do, damn if you don't kind of thing. So it's like, we understand it's trivial in New England a lot of times, but other regions are just like, yo, I'm from the whatever. Even me, when I said, hey, I'm DMV, you know what I mean? People usually understand what that means. And then you don't have people going, you were technically not from blah, blah, blah. It's like, come on, dog. It's
Yeah,
like,
New England.
you rocking
Hey.
the B hat. We know where you rep.
I can't.
Like I'm from people are like, oh, where you from? I'm like Boston area, and they're like, oh, where? And I'm like Brockton specifically. Like I'm
Yeah,
from
like they're not going
Brockton,
to
that's
support
where
your
I grew up.
business because you're not in this exact same block. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man.
I touched down in Maine. New
Right,
Hampshire.
right.
I was in Cape Elizabeth, Maine, my 7th and 8th grade year, I want to say. So I've lived out in Maine. I mean,
That's nice.
when
I moved out
I
here
was
when I was
there,
18. I don't really know the schools.
the school it wasn't really it wasn't a pleasant experience, needless to say. But yeah, I touched in Maine, and I reside in New Hampshire now too. So New England, I like that. That's a good answer, man.
So what's your thought now? I mean, right now we're dealing with this COVID thing, right? There's opportunities like this, but what's the plans for you as a musician now? Are you waiting for it to subside, or are you just trying to go hard with stuff on the virtual end? What's the business plan for these songs?
I don't. That's a weird question because like only to me, because I mean I'm a performance artist. I'm an entertainer more specifically than anything. Like when Felix and his people were scouting me out and they had me come down to their show, Felix liked me immediately. He liked my music. He saw some of my videos, but the rest of the crew weren't really feeling it because they felt like the presentation and the tracks was not enough. My stage performance is what really got everybody. Everybody tells me I sound better live, but at the same time, with COVID going on, you can still do online stuff. Like you can be live, doing lives every day, doing what you do best, be it music, just rolling and smoking, talking shit, whatever you're doing, you know what I mean? Just make sure you have that social presence because regardless, we're in a technical age, we need it. So either way, it's helping people connect more with their fans. And so I think it's helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, brother.
We all trying to figure it out, man. It's a different world, you know what I mean? So, well, yo, we want to get more of the tracks too. So every time we have people up for 5 minutes of Flames, we're trying to play one joint and hear a little bit about them. And we want to leave with people when they leave the 5 minutes here. We want to make sure people know how to contact you and hit you up for more. That's the most important thing. So where would somebody hear more of your music?
Right. Well, I'm Google verified, so you could literally just type in Voorhees into Google and find me. That little block will pop up, and you'll see all my social links. But if you just want to do it the easy way, you can look me up on almost any social platform under Voorhees Music, and it's MUZIK, or you can just type in Tony Voorhees. Odds are you'll find me. Hashtag Tony Voorhees. Hashtag Sect to None. You know what I mean? Anything involving this crew, like you can Google it or type it in and you're gonna find it.
Cool. Well, we welcome y'all to jump back in later if you want. We're gonna put y'all in the green room. You don't have to stay, you don't have to leave. We're gonna have our main guest come up here. This for you too, Felix. If you want to join us later on in the show, we'll be playing some more music later after the 10:30 time. We got a couple of things we want to share with some folks, but after that we'll be back up. Don't forget at 11 o'clock, Hip Hop Citizens. We got following our show, Friday Night Live, comes on right after us at 11.
Correct.
So thank you for sharing the music, man. And this is a home for you anytime, man. So come on by and come on back later tonight if you want.
Nah, I appreciate it.
Absolutely, y'all.
I appreciate it, man. Y'all
Cheers,
really
y'all.
Much love, man.
Absolutely.
Hey, no doubt, man. Good, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, Felix.
Yes, sir.
No doubt.
Man,
yo,
yeah,
good to see Felix again, man. He's got his fingers all over the place. He's he's really active and a strong leader for these guys. So it's real cool, man, to see a team really synergistically moving. They're really seamless with, everybody needs work, man. Everybody needs work, but together you're stronger than by yourself. So okay, I feel that you got the slogan down for them. You got the actual team spirit that they need, man, because when you got, like we were saying before last week with them, when you got that many people up, it's hard. It's like having a lot of kids in your family, you know what I mean? Everybody needs the attention they deserve.
That's right.
And at the same time, everybody should be helping and, trying to find that time. I think it's a beautiful thing that they're able to, just keep putting one after the other and supporting the team. And that's really one of the only ways these days.
Yeah, and to see like 14 people, actively engaged on a day-to-day basis. I see my phone be popping off at the chat. I'm like, wow. So it's a rare find,
Yeah.
So.
I'm ready to share the screen. I think I'm going to try to share the screen again one more time. And we got, for those of y'all who don't know, our main guest coming up tonight in a few minutes. We're gonna talk about her right now. But after her, we got our man Yahweh back in the building, man. Yahweh is back in the green room too. So
Yahweh,
we're excited for that. But right now, we're going to get into Dr. Sandra Jowers Barber, and I'm really excited she's coming up right there. That's her bio. I'm just going to leave that there for a second. I'm not going to read it to you all.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I'm not going to give you that whole thing right there to read, but I put that there just for y'all to check out. If you want to pause the show, go back and look at it after, and you're like, yo, who was that Dr. Sandra Jowers Barber. We're lucky to have her up here right now. I know.
Very much.
I know. I have the pleasure of working with her. She is. Let me just say this. I don't want to embarrass her before she comes out or steal her thunder, but I will say this. What you see in there in the bio is just sort of the tip of the iceberg. She's many, many things. There's a lot of slashes that could go before her name and after her name, but she's the kind of person when you meet her, you kind of know you're meeting the real deal. You know what I mean? You know immediately that this is somebody right here who's just on point. On point is kind of the word that I'd like to use for her. So when that's her, you're going to see her up in a minute, but when you're seeing a picture of her, it doesn't begin to describe the color that she brings. I mean, when you walk into her office, Jay, like I know you were talking about my office before, you were thinking, oh yeah, that's a pretty cool office. Her office now is like my blueprint. It's
Wow.
like her office, it's an explosion of colors. It's Afrocentric, it's beautiful. She's got masculine. I mean, you just got to see it to believe it. I was going to put a picture of it.
When you walk in, you feel the energy type thing.
Yeah. So, I
Yeah,
mean,
man,
you you almost expect that from a historian, right? You're be like, okay, I'm going to probably, you walk in there and you're like, yo, it's the real deal. Students want to be in her office. Faculty want to be, it's refreshing, right? You just walk in the old white wall kind of thing or whatever, not in her office. And she's the same way in person. You meet her, you're like, wow, she's got something going on here. And beyond the accolades, beyond, y'all saw the PhD, she's an historian, a professor, author. Her work, I hope we get to hear a little bit about, but it's great to be able to have an actual historian during Black History Month, right? Actually on the show.
Absolutely.
And, I'm always trying to tap her for like nuggets. I can tap her brain a little bit here and there and find out, especially about DC, because being new to the area, and she's just a wealth of information. So without further ado, Dr. Sandra Jowers Barber.
Thank you so much. Wow. I wanted to just sit and listen to the introduction again. Very gracious of you and very kind. And I've enjoyed the music, listening to you, and it's just it's refreshing to hear the individuals have the knowledge and the willingness to share it and the graciousness. I love the 5 minutes of flame, and I love the dine and sip. I understand Girl Scout cookies and wine.
Can you get down with that? Can you get down with Girl Scout?
Oh
cookies?
yeah, I've done that. I have.
I bought Girl Scout cookies from you actually. It just hit me. I'm like, I got Girl Scout cookies.
Exactly. I'm taking this moment because the youngest one is 8, granddaughter's 18, so there are no more Girl Scout cookies. So I have a pause because the next granddaughter is 6, and then the youngest one is 18 months. So I'm enjoying this break before she gets, and she's in Indiana, so I don't have to do any active Girl Scout cookie selling. And massage that hustle, right?
It is a hustle. You got to do it. You got to do it. Absolutely. You know what?
It's a pleasure to be here. When you were describing my office, I tell people I spend a lot of time in there, and I want it to be comfortable, and I want people that come in to be comfortable, and I want people to know I'm a historian, and I do that by making sure that there are inclusive things in my office. I have a few artifacts, a few primary sources, books and some artifacts, and then replicas of things. But the proudest moment in that office for me, I keep the door open 99% of the time when I was there. And my bookcase had some bowls on it, and they were from Nigeria, Senegal, and Ghana. And there were students walking by, 2 young brothers, and one was from Nigeria and one was from Ghana, and they saw the bowl.
Right.
And they came in and they said, "Can we come in?" I said, "Sure, come on in." And they stopped, and one said to the other, this bowl is what we use to give elders water in my village. And the other one said, well, that's similar to the bowl that I use. And behind them were some other students who stopped because they were attracted by the office, but they heard them talking and they were teaching. And I'm thinking, this is what I wanted.
That's crazy.
Right?
Wow.
They used these artifacts to show what they knew from their homeland and from what they not only saw, but what they had been taught to share with these students behind them, who now were very much engaged because they were peers. It wasn't a professor saying something. They weren't going to be graded. They
Yeah,
didn't have
yeah.
to
What's up?
memorize
Completely
Stuffy
free.
speech.
completely
Yeah,
right, and they actually could hold it. I mean, it was said, and I was like, okay, this is what I'm talking about.
yeah. Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. You know, it's funny. While you were saying that, I was looking right here. I said, do I have a picture of that? I was trying to, but I don't actually think I have a picture of your office. But you know what I do have a picture of, and I was hoping that maybe you could talk about this, see if you know what the picture is. I won't say too much here until I find it for you. So let me share this.
Okay.
And let's go right here. You know what that's a picture of?
Oh, that's our trip to New York City when we
Yeah.
were going to the African Burial Ground Museum. Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's it. So talk to us a little bit about that. You've been doing that for a while. So you take people on this trip. Tell our listeners about what you do and why it's important to you.
One of the things that we want our students to have are different experiences. And we love Washington, D.C. I love D.C. I'm not a native. I'm from New Jersey. I was going to go to Howard University before I was born. I had no choice in the matter. My parents decided. They did not go to college, but all of us, they made sure that all of us would go. And like my daddy said, my job is to put clothes on your back, food in your stomach, and a roof on your head. Your job is to go to school, be smart, and go to college. I'm going to do my job, and I'm expecting you to do yours. Okay? Old school, Caribbean,
Old school.
Jamaican.
Right.
All right. So one of the things I wanted to do was to make an opportunity for students to have an experience outside of the city. And as a historian, I wanted them to see something that was historical, informative, but also entertaining. I mean, let's face it, history can be dull. I'm a public and oral historian, and I believe in that more history is learned outside of the classroom than inside.
Preach.
Right? So sitting in a classroom for 15 weeks, there's never been anything I wanted to do. So I decided that I was going to
You get some shout outs there. Sorry. You get some Howard University shout outs coming. I knew you'd want to see that. But
all right. You know.
And Ellington Road, I love this woman already. So you got some fans out there already. Sorry to stop.
No problem. So I said, how can I create something that allows students to have an opportunity to find out more about history and to get away for a moment and to have some new experience in the city that's exciting, the energy and all of that. And I said, okay, we'll do a New York trip. And I started it initially on the Van Ness campus. And when I came to the community college, I certainly was going to continue it. And so Melinda Jennings, Student Life, worked with her for the funding, and we got the bus. We put out our first announcement. And I think we had the first trip, we got a great response. We had a 52-seater bus, and I think we had 40 students, right? And of those 40 students, 99% had never been to New York.
Never been, right. Yeah, never been to
And of the 99%, 95 had never been out of DC.
And for all our Boston listeners, right, who maybe have never been, which I think a lot of Boston people have, I would also say that it's pretty much the same distance, right? Think about from Boston going to New York City. It's pretty much the same distance as DC, just to put that in context, back to New York, right? So think about that. It's crazy.
And so we said, all right, this is going to be an experience. And I crafted or curated a tour. And we didn't want to do it because you only have one day. You spend 4 hours getting there and 4 hours back. So you spend 8 hours on the bus. So you only have like 8 hours in the city. And so we wanted to make the most of that. We also wanted to let them have a little free time, right? Because they're not kindergarteners, and you absolutely want to have some agency there. So we went to the African Burial Ground and looked at that. It was free. And so many people don't know about the African Burial Ground, whether in New York City or out. I mean, sometimes you're in a place and there's so much you just ignore it because you're living your life. It's not like you come. So we went to the African Burial Ground. There's a museum, and then there's an actual monument out right next to the museum. You come out, walk down half a block, and there's the monument that's created. And then we said, okay, we'll have time to do maybe 2 more things. And we had to go to Harlem. Okay. I'm from Atlantic City, New Jersey. I love my hometown. My spirit is in Harlem. All right. So I'm putting that out in the universe. Somehow or another, I'm going to be there for a couple of years.
Ellington wrote, if I had a teacher like you, he probably wouldn't have went to college. This woman is everything that schools are missing. There it is right there. See that?
There you go.
So we take them to Harlem. And then we said, okay, while we're in Harlem, we got to have them eat at some historic places or give them certainly the opportunity to see Sylvia's, all right, to see Amy Roots. and then they can decide because they have some options, right? So we gave them a couple hours to eat where they wanted to eat, to see the Magic Johnson Theater, to see Adam Clayton Powell Building, to see the Apollo. The very first trip, some of our students went into the Apollo, had an opportunity to get to the stage and rub the drum, all right?
Wow.
And they were elated about this.
Crazy.
So those kind of things. And then we took a group to the Schomburg, and we showed them that the ashes of Langston Hughes is buried in the foyer of the Schomburg in front of the auditorium, in case you didn't know that. And that was free. So we had an opportunity for them to see these things, and the big mural on the Harlem Hospital across the street, and to see the sign where now Maggie Walker has a sign on the right across from the Harlem Hospital. Miles Davis has a street. Fannie Lou Hamer, Zora Neale Hurston. So to see all of this, just while you're walking down the street, and then they shop. Of course, you know, the fun thing is all of the stores and the vendors. So they got to see all this, and we asked them to do reflections for us. Okay, on the way up on the bus, we kind of, after they fall asleep, because we leave at 6 o'clock in the morning, and by 8 they're awake. And we're almost there. So we have a conversation. What do you think about New York? What do you think Harlem is going to be like? What do you think you're going to see? And for many of them, what they thought about New York, they got from television. And for a lot, it was, you know, Harlem is drug related and everybody's shooting everybody and they're falling out in the street. Very, very much old images of what Harlem would be. And so we wanted to explain to them that that's not the case. They'll see, you know, African Americans owning brownstones and businesses, and of course we talked about gentrification. That's everywhere. We wanted them to actually see and experience that, and they did. And once we went to the African Burial Ground, which in itself is amazing, it has a great museum, a documentary on slavery in New York. They loved it. Then they got to actually see the museum. Then we went outside to the monument and we did a libation. Right. So most of the students had not done a libation before. And when they built the monument, they built an area for libations to be done. And for those who don't know about libations, that's when you take water, you have dirt, and you're pouring for the ancestors, those who came over against their will, who were enslaved, not slaves. You have to be careful of the language. They were enslaved and brought and lost their lives in the Middle Passage. We pour for those who survived. We pour for those who we know, and we pour for those we don't know and family members. So it's like a 3-part piece. And so I did a libation, and for many, it was very, very moving because we had them call out the names of their family members, right? And
very emotional.
We say Ashe. And it was just very much amazing. And we saw how they were forming relationships anyway. Some came as friends, and some made friends on the bus, and some made friends around what they saw at the African Burial Ground Museum. And some made friends about the libations because they were calling out grandmothers that they loved. They were calling out parents they had lost, right? And we were taking this moment to honor their memories and their spirits right, in this sacred space.
And that's the part that, you know, I hadn't gone until I went with you there. And when you're on that site, you can't help but feel it. I mean, you're on the literal site, you know.
Exactly.
And even the room inside is so well done, you know, the way that they
so
have the artifacts there. It's amazing. Yeah.
And they had an opportunity to just be in that space and be for a moment. So we always take pictures. We take a picture before we leave DC, and we take a picture at the African Burial Ground, right? And so we sort of memorialize that for them. And we ask them to do reflection papers for us. And all we ask for is 1 page, typed, well written.
Put the glasses up real quick. You better be
okay. And they are amazing. They are so moving. In fact, the dean and I were talking earlier today about that, and she was saying how moving they were because they really have an opportunity. And we say, just say whatever you feel. You don't have to. If you didn't like it, that's fine. Right? If you liked it, that's fine. If you tell me what you want to change, because we want to always improve. We have gone for the last year was the first year we missed since 2015. and we go every semester. We have a spring and we have a fall trip. Right. So we've made 10 of those trips. We've never lost anybody. We've never had any.
You almost lost me.
Well, we almost lost you.
I was real late getting that
got
bus.
home by yourself, and you would have had to talk to your wife. So I wouldn't have had to make a call about it.
Yeah. I would,
But they just enjoyed it. And even now, students have been texting me, when are we going? Are we going back? And response is yes, as soon as it's safe to travel.
Right.
Especially
we will go back. And we wanted to expand it from that. We want to do a travel club because there are many places we'd like to take them. And DC is so well situated. All right. You know, you can get to Richmond and you can see so much history there. North Carolina is, maybe 4 or 5 hours away. So we're talking about that. Philly, of course, is 2 hours, and there's all of that history in Philadelphia.
Right.
So we're looking to expand it and to do more travel. And we've had students who have been repeaters who've gone with us 2 or 3 times, and they tell their friends. We have never had a trip where we've had less than 35, 40 students. And we always have a waiting list. And we do this because we do it every semester because many of our students are working students and their parents and their caregivers. And so sometimes it's difficult. Even if, okay, let's say we start the semester in August, we say the trip is in September, October. Well, your work schedule may change. And where you had the weekend off, now you don't have it. And we don't tell anyone don't go to your job for this trip. So what we've done, we've alternated the days. Some semesters we've gone on Friday, right? To accommodate those students who couldn't go on the weekends. And when the African Burial Museum was closed because of repairs and different things, we've gone to United Nations. So we've done that tour. And again, most of our students had not been to United Nations. And we were very fortunate. I have a good friend who spent some time in Senegal on a Fulbright, and she made acquaintances of some graduate students there who were at the United Nations. So the last trip 2 semesters ago, he met us, and the students got to meet this young man from Dakar, who was a graduate student, was a tour guide at the United Nations. And they took selfies, and he answered their questions, and he was extremely handsome, and so he's very charismatic, and he loved meeting our students, and our students loved meeting him. So those are the kind of experiences that they get when they're able to go on these trips. You never know who you're going to see. Of course, they've spotted some people. They went to Black Ink in Harlem, and that was exciting. We were able to take some to the mosque.
Were they patrons while they were there? Were they jumping off and saying,
I don't ask any questions. I don't want to see anything. Don't tell me about what I don't know. That's not allowed. I don't want to know. We went to 116th Street the African market. So they saw the vendors. I mean, they get to see a lot. And in the Schomburg, they were able to see the exhibits. We did some tours. I had a friend of mine who's an attorney, a native Harlemite, who met us one semester. She's a member of Abyssinian Church, and Abyssinian had an exhibit up. They did an exhibit on Black churches, and she provided the guide for the students and did this personally. So they got to meet this native Harlemite who talked about Harlem to them, explained to them why the tour was important, talked about the history of Abyssinian and Adam Clayton Powell. So yeah, this trip does a lot. It checks a lot of boxes. And to hear the students on the way back talking about their experiences, it's worth it.
Yeah, that's the price right there. Yeah.
Being in the field.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Is there any way
to get a feel?
I like to play with words.
Yeah.
Is there any way for the virtual connection to this? Like my son, for instance, maybe you've seen this with your grandson too. They're doing, museums have volunteered all over Virginia, for instance, right? And they do all these virtual field trips. They've slowed down a little bit because I think they're all field tripped out. But is there any way to do this virtually for the students? And by the way, before you answer that, you have people volunteering, I think, to be tour guides over here who are trying to find out if non-students can go because it sounds so good. But and that's shout out to Illiton. who's been up
bro.
here as well. There's his comment you're seeing. But is there any way that you think something like this could be done virtually for our students or other students, or no?
It certainly can be done virtually. The challenge with the virtual piece is, let me say, the one thing with the in-person trip allows the students to have that interaction, all right, and to talk to each other, talk about what they think the trip is going to be like, and then talk about, once they get there, how that has been confirmed or pushed back against what they knew, and now they're changing their perspective about different things.
Yeah.
Virtually, you can say, I can do a Zoom and link into something.
Doesn't quite do it as well.
Exactly. All right, everybody, get your Poland Springs and that sand, and we're gonna do it all. No, it's not the same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That kind of doesn't work. But what you have given me an idea is to compile a list of those places and provide them to the faculty and have them post it, and then have the students go on their own time, where it's not a joint gathering, but you can go to Studio Gallery. Studio Gallery in Harlem is undergoing renovation, but they have exhibits at different places around the city. So once you join that website, then you get all that information, and you can go and see whatever exhibit is you want. Or I always, whenever I'm going somewhere, I'm looking for African-American artists. So I go in and put in Google what exhibits are available that Black artists are doing. And you get those from the different galleries, and everybody now is virtual. So I could do links and say, okay, this artist is here at this gallery, take a look at his or her work, right? But the virtual tour kind of thing, you don't have everybody together in order to do it. So I would have them, encourage them to go on their own, make note of the things that they want to see. Well, so when we go in person, now you got a point of reference. It's like, okay, Dr. Giles, can we stop here, or we want to go here, or what can you tell us about this kind of thing?
So once you came here to DC and you did the Howard experience, did you have any gap where you went back, or did you always stay here and then just get right into academia? How did that work for you?
When I came to Howard, no, it's funny you should ask that. I just talked with a friend who I went to visit my sophomore year. My mother was not happy. Let's put it that way. But no, after I did 4 years, after I was on campus for the first semester, I got a job. I was always very independent. Okay. So I got a job. I was a scholarship student, but needed money for living and clothes and those kind of things. And the dorm was nice, but I was over the dorm. I loved the experience. Got an apartment and got a job. All that second semester I was working. And I knew I wanted to stay, but I did go back home first year, and I went back home second year because, my mother and father wanted me home. After that, I was done.
You were here.
And I love my family. Don't get me wrong. I love my hometown, but I liked Washington and wanted to be here, had a job, had an apartment, and I just stayed. Now, there was a gap between graduate school because I got out of undergrad in 71, and I went back in 73 for grad school for a master's, but was working. I had scholarships all the way through, and I guess you don't really understand the importance of having all of that paid for. Right. You actually have to pay for it yourself. And I said, okay, let me just.
That allows you to go into academia.
Exactly. And I did have a loan that I was paying, and I paid all that off. And I said, okay, I just need a moment to regroup. And got married, got divorced. And then when I got married the second time in 1999 to a wonderful man, I got 4 children with the wedding. And I had a home. I lived on Capitol Hill, had a home, and was in the process of selling the home. So I sold the home. A friend of mine came to my wedding and said, you know what, you really need to get your master's and your PhD. And I said, yes, but I just got married. I now have 4 children, a husband, and I've sold my house, and I'm moving into this house in Northwest. And I'm older. And she said, well, good Lord willing, the creek don't rise. You're going to be older anyway. Why not be older with a PhD and the master's?
There you go.
And I said, you're right. And I went home and I said, okay, John, I'm getting ready to do this. And he said, go for it. He got his master's. He went to undergrad at Case Western, came back, got his master's at Federal City. He said, I got the house, I got the kids, go do your thing. And so I went to the orientation, got a scholarship to work or studies. And so that paid for my undergrad, did my master's, and one of my 4 children is deaf. Right. And she's now a grown adult. At the time, she was 9 or 10. And I was showing her a history book and telling her I was going to go to school, get my master's. And she said, who's deaf? Who's deaf? And she knew Dr. King and she knew Mrs. Park, but there were no deaf Black people in this book, right? And I said, okay, I can show her African-American history, but I need to show her deaf history. I need to show her African-American deaf history. So this is what I'm going to do. And at my church at Shiloh Baptist, we have the oldest silent mission in the country. And I took her there one Sunday, and the silent mission was signing to the singing choir. And my daughter started signing with them. And I said, can you do that? And she said, yeah, I can do that. Did you like that? And she said, yeah. And this is a child who, you know, was in the church with no interpreter. So you can imagine what her Sundays were like. And I said, okay, immediately I told my husband, said, I'm leaving this church. I'm taking her. We're joining Shiloh. And she's going to be involved in this silent mission. And he said, fine. And she met these older African-American deaf people with jobs, with families, who were deacons, who were deacons, who worked, who were in the community, who were active. And she had not had that. She had been at Kendall School, Model Secondary School for the Deaf on Gallaudet campus, wonderful school, but she didn't have the exposure of a Black deaf community. Right. Very much international, which was fine, which is good, you know, that's good, but she didn't have the diversity. She didn't have that exposure to Black deaf people, that one-on-one up close, that come on, baby, here, grab me, let me tell you some things kind of exposure that she needed. In fact, the first encounter, she was talking with an older deaf woman, and they just embraced us tremendously. It's been amazing. And one of the interpreters said to me, I think your daughter has insulted Deaconess Anderson. I was like, what did the child say? What did she do? And my daughter had corrected her signing and said that she had signed something wrong. Well, and this gets into Black ASL and ASL, both legitimate languages. But my daughter, a child of Model Secondary School for the Deaf in Kendall, had not seen this before, right? Yeah. So she's saying, well, no, that's wrong. This is right the way for N. That's your N is wrong. And the woman very gently said to her, no, baby girl. This is just different. It's not wrong. Like, you don't know. I'm trying to teach you something. Like the
slang.
Right. And, you know, and to my daughter's credit, she apologized and said, I'm sorry. You know, I want to learn. And so she now had this new sign. To her, it was new. And a new way and a new language. And this was what I wanted for her. And my husband had wanted it for her too. So, you know, we wanted her to understand she could do anything but hear. And
this became your,
this became my dissertation.
This became your dissertation, right? That's amazing.
The members of Shiloh said to me, you know, there's this, when they found out I was going to Howard to get my master's, they said, you have to write about this case. And I'm like, what case? Because I didn't know about Miller versus DC Board of Education. So I did my research. And this was the case when Kendall School was formed. There were Black deaf students there. But in 1905, a law was created that said Black deaf students residing in the District of Columbia had by law to be educated in Maryland School for the Deaf or some other school in a neighboring state. They could no longer go there. Now, when they were at school at Kendall on the grounds of Gallaudet, they were in the same classroom. They didn't sleep together and they didn't eat together, right? So they were at Maryland School for the Deaf. Mrs. Miller had her son at Pennsylvania School for the Deaf. This changed in 1952 with the case that ended that what I called educational segregation, right? So now the case was decided that you could not send one race out of the state for the same education you provided the other race within the state, right? This was based on Missouri v. Gaines, where the black law school in Missouri was started because Mr. Gaines wanted to go there, and Missouri said, no, you can't go there. And the judge said, well, you have to build a law school. You have to make a law school. You can't send him. They were going to send him to Illinois. He said, no, that's not going to work. You have to find a school, make a school, but you can't send him out of state and educate a white student in state, right? So the Judge Pines had that case as a precedent, and he said, you can't continue to send these children to Maryland. You've got to bring them back here and educate them like you do white deaf children. And that brought them back. That also opened the door for black teachers because the white teachers didn't want to teach them. So now you've got the students coming back, and you have 4 black teachers who were hired. They were not deaf, they were hearing. And so this case is a pre-Brown versus Board of Education case. But some of the attorneys on this case worked with Thurgood Marshall. So it was very much a part of the strategy that went in.
Did you catch last night, by the way, on PBS, the special that they had on? I don't know if you know about it, but they had they were doing a Black History piece that they started. I don't know if you caught any of that through the I forget what it's called. Is it Lens? Is that what it's called on PBS? They
right. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that
I caught, and I
brought up a lot
really,
of this.
I hate the reason why we are home, but I must say to you, I have seen things that I would normally have not seen. I have attended meetings that I normally would not have been able to attend because of the fact that we are captive. And there's such interesting, informative, well done programs that are on that, for me, Black History is every month. I understand what Carter G. Woodson did and why he selected it and all of that. But this has opened that up and sort of, cracked that ceiling of just, okay, it's February, right? What has happened now, it's February and you get more, but there's been things throughout that have been so well done.
Sure.
And I'm looking forward to on the 16th, it's the Black Church that's coming on PBS.
Right, yep.
So, there's just
so much good stuff, yeah.
It's an abundance of things.
Can you stay with us for we have a next guest coming up. And speaking of, I think this is such amazing that you guys are here tonight. Yeah. We got this young man, his name is Yahweh, and Fly, F-L-Y, Forever Lives Yahweh. He's a real talented artist. He's on an album with us with a couple songs. He has a new single out, but one of the singles we want you to hear from a historical perspective is this track that we have. That I think, Jay, we're gonna obviously play Freedom, right? That's what we're gonna run.
Absolutely,
right?
Freedom Corner for sure.
we have to run Freedom. So it's Freedom Corner about Freedom Corner, and he's from a label called Freedom Corner, and just it hits with the church, it hits spiritually, it hits segregate everything, right? So
I'd be happy to.
We almost need you on standby as our official historian that we can call whenever we need a historian. So let's get thank you so much. We'll
and Dr. Giles, listen, I could listen to you all
absolutely.
day,
yeah,
all
absolutely.
night. Yeah, very, very, very good.
Say that because my daughter said, everybody doesn't like history. Please don't be boring.
Well, we're gonna spice it up right now. We're gonna bring in Yahweh and add him to the mix here. This is perfect. So, ladies and gentlemen, FLY.
Knock knock.
Bang bang.
Yahweh.
Yo,
what's
look
going on,
at that.
sir?
What's going on,
Hello.
good people?
How you
What's
doing,
up, brother?
But before we start, I just want to let Doc know. I enjoyed every second of that.
Yeah,
that was beautiful, and it was very well said and easy to interpret. The experience, I almost felt like you were there. I was there by what you were describing from the trips and stuff like that. Made me kind of jealous. Man,
well, and I'm certainly glad to hear that. I'm going to think about doing a trip for the community. And so you've put something in my head. I will stay in touch with Dr. Plord, and he will be able to let me know how to let people know about the trip. But that's something that I'm going to go ahead.
That'd be amazing. That would be amazing.
By the way, everyone in Proco land, I'm Dr. Plord.
I'm sorry.
It's good. It's not secret. It's just
no secret.
It's just not we don't always say it, but that's all. But we go pro and quo, and that's it.
Okay,
but absolutely. No, it's good. It's good. I forget the dual identities. I'm always saying Jay, and people are like, who's Jay? I'm like, it's Quo.
Yeah,
Quo
exactly.
is Jay, right?
Quo Jay.
So Yahweh. Speaking of names,
Woo.
yeah, man. I know you got some new heat in the chamber, but before we jump into the new heat, can we let him hear some of this heat and have a little conversation about it here with Dr. Jawas Barber?
Please.
All right, let's get into that. So right here, again, these songs are not done. We always preface that. We just share them with people before they're done. And this is our playlist here. And you'll see that Yahweh right there, Forever Lives Yahweh. He's on He Prays.
He Prays.
And you'll see down here, Freedom Corner. Jay, you want to talk about this before we hit play?
Yeah, definitely. So Freedom Corner, this came from the Freedom Corner label, and another Jay produced it, funny enough. Right?
Yeah.
And, so LD hit me with the beat. I ended up doing a full song in a day, and I'm like, this is amazing. And then things came to be with Pro Quo. I'm like, whoa, we got to get Pro on it. Then I found out about Yahweh. I said, he's from this label. What? This song makes so much sense because I touch on the intuition of it all and being me and thinking about freedom itself. Pro pinpoint the Freedom Corner, and Yahweh he represents the whole thing. So it's like the marriage of everybody's personality and life on it is crazy.
We're going to make you wait for that. Yahweh, he's holding it down on that anchor. So here we go. Yahweh.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
It's loading. Look at that. Freedom Corner. Yeah. Let's make it known, you know what I mean?
How you feeling, how you doing though? Instrumental hit the studio. Truly more than making music, so fan first, stand firm for that Freedom Pro. Plans work, we immerse with the jury though. Yeah, how you feeling, how you doing though? Instrumental hit the studio. Truly more than making music, so fan first, stand firm, what you doing, quote. I'm on the corner free riding with my clique in them. Before Atlanta, Mississippi hit the map off of discipline. Disciples at the table thinking labels made it Timberlands. Recycled off the majors, quarantine, I'm in the crib again. Playing daddy, school teacher, and a hooligan. I'm on salary, not married, but I'm rudiment. The queen cheers, so it's cheers, bottles moving in. That's weekdays, long nights, videos all Peruvian. A big dream texturized on a podium. Reflect the vibes, hope you feel what I sow in them. We on books, former crooks, tall castles, no linoleum. There's no church, but I preach on this flow we in. The temple is my mental, so the soul is detrimental. When I hit the instrumental with the pen, don't use a pencil. You understand the code, so conversion is eventual. No diversion, I'm essential. How you doing though? Instrumental hit the studio. Truly more than making music, so fan first, stand firm for that Freedom quote. Plans work, we immerse with the jury though. Yeah, how you feeling, how you doing though?
Feeling good.
Instrumental hit the studio. Truly more than making music, so fan first, stand firm, what you doing,
You can place me in the verses with these rappers this high, and I will place them in these hearses in the back of a box. Got a catalog that stretches like a jack in a box. Underground, I am legend, the original plot. Thought provoking how I'm poking and be stoking the flames. Freedom riding on some Stokey before he changed up his name. Changing the game, my whole education was lame. Mega Everest, no one ever even mentioned his name. Martin neither, even him barely a quarter a page. We learned nothing about that corner where that freedom was laid. A shame. Now many corners where there's MLKs, boulevards, grilling hard, still things ain't changed. Is we supposed to lead the hood or is we supposed to refrain? Trying to play the Eric Spoelstra era post King James. Spit flames, how we handle that heat, gripping that rosary while getting our Omari on doing it how it's supposed to be.
How you feeling, how you doing though? Instrumental hit the studio. Truly more than making music, so fan first, stand firm for that freedom, yo. Plans work, we immerse with the jury though. Yeah, how you feeling, how you doing though? Instrumental hit the studio. Truly more than making music, so fan first, stand firm, what you doing, yo?
Forever lives Yahweh.
Freedom Corner, free from the corner. About to get it poppin' like corn, it's a warmer. Had the ultimatum like my name, chasing bomber. Changed up my life cause it was jail or the corner. My life is like a movie, I ain't talking Time Warner. Spirit got me speaking different language like a foreigner. Yeah, cold summers and the winters getting warmer, so I'm really out of pocket like a young Kurt Warner. I warned you, only judge a book by its chapters. Pencil daddy pistol for them pistols leaving captive. That melanin is gold, so I'm knowing what they after. You only live twice, so I'm living for the afterlife. All Christ don't need him being subliminal. The way I'm killing beats, you would think they ought to be criminal. New era, but no cabin. I got that bag in the intervals, and it's blessings on blessings. Gotta know that harvest is plentiful.
How you feeling? How you doing? No. Instrumental hit the studio. Truly more than making music, so fan first, stand firm for that Freedom Pro. Plans work, we immerse with the jewelry though. Yeah, how you feeling? How you doing? No. Instrumental hit the studio. Truly more than making music, so fan first, stand firm. What you doing, quote?
Yo, bro, that Freedom Corner is stupid. Oh my God, bro. I'm in the car with my girl now, bro. I'm getting ready to the crib. I'm finna bump this on the studio,
Write it out.
Beautiful record.
Yeah. Yahweh.
Yahweh. Really good. My mom was like, Jay, oh my God, that's you? Really? I'm like, I know, man. I don't know what possessed me. But all of us, we put our heart and soul in that one for sure, man.
Oh,
Yeah, man.
wow.
Now, Dr. Jawas Barber, how'd you feel that?
I love that. I'm not a TikTok person, but I'm on Tidal. Can I get where can I get this?
Nowhere yet. When it I got this light in my face. Sorry. When it comes out, yeah, it'll be on Tidal and all that kind of stuff too. But,
Okay.
but
Please.
right now, it's just kind of behind the scenes. I won't be out till like the summer. What's that?
The three of you were on here.
Correct.
Yeah, Yahweh's our guest on 2 songs on the album. And we're not. We probably, even though it'll be ready, probably in this month of March coming up, it'll probably be all officially done. But we won't have it out till like the summer probably. There's a lot of behind the scenes.
Well, I'm definitely going to get that.
Thank
I
you.
hear you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
we're trying to, if we can represent for the historians, you know what I mean, and
Absolutely.
and get them on board.
I think what I love about what you presented to us here tonight was about being in a present in an environment that has energy, that when you actually can touch and feel something that's represents history, and especially when it's as deep as what you told us tonight, that's huge. You know, we all need to be able to experience that and feel more things. You know, books are great, but when you can go into the field, like I was saying, and actually experience it firsthand, it's a whole nother deal. You know,
it makes a world of difference, and especially when you can you give the foundation for it and you talk about it, and you know, reading is important, of course, but there's nothing like walking in the steps of actors and historical actors in these places, and looking at these watershed moments, and being able to stand in Mary McLeod Bethune Council house. That was the council house. We're actually on Logan Circle, right? Going to the African Burial Ground, African Civil War Museum here, and seeing a musket from the Civil War that was actually there, not a replica, an artifact, right? And seeing shackles, and there's just, you can't, no matter how good you are in the classroom, you can't bring that kind of excitement. You can't bring that kind of passion. And subsequently, when you go places and you're standing where there was a slave auction, right? How can you do that in the classroom? You simply can't. Or you're Marion
Anderson right here in Virginia, here right now.
Right. I mean, so those are the kind of things that you can't reproduce in a classroom. And so it's so important to put the two of them together, because you don't want to negate the fact that you really need to know something, and it does help to read something, but it's more impactful when you can teach and show at the same time, which is why I really like being able to take student places and have lessons there. Dr. Frank Smith at the African Civil War Museum is great about those, and other individuals too, where they'll do a presentation. We have some students from UDC who got their masters at Howard who are at the Mary McLeod Bethune Council House. John Fowler is one of the arrangers there. And so when we bring students there, I can say this is a graduate of UDC, okay? And here he is a park ranger with a master's in public history, and he's showing you the house where Mary McLeod Bethune lived, bought this house, had her bedroom, had her office. This is the desk that you can actually touch. Well, you can't touch it, but I mean, you know what I'm saying. And so that makes a difference. And these are students who walked by this place, right? And didn't know. And, you know, I don't beat people up for not knowing history. I hate when people talk about students. Well, they should know. And now why don't they? Well, they don't know because you didn't tell them. Right?
Exactly.
They don't know because
same with hip hop history. Yep,
to them.
Yep.
Right. So when students say, well, there's nothing happened in my area. Well, yes, something happened. You just don't know it yet. And it's our job to make sure that we uncover something, that we help you discover something that happened.
That's it.
And it doesn't always have to be, you know, center stage and it was on the news.
Right.
There are plenty of people in the community who withstood injustices and fought that back and were change agents in their own way that you may not know. Someone was the first person of color or the first woman who did something that didn't make the paper, but they did it and made a way for you to do some of the things that you're doing. So those are the kind of things that's important to show. It's like you gotta talk. You've got to talk to young people. You know,
that's right in line with Yahweh too. I mean, like, you know, I don't know if you caught it, but Yahweh, there's a lot of references to Christ, a lot of references to spirituality, right? And so he's putting it right in the music. He can't write like the gospel or anything, but he can, you know, he can open you up to what it is he's trying to touch on.
And what's important is that he can reach people his age. There's an intergenerational piece that works, right? It's not always because you're old, you're not going to get it, or because you're younger, you don't want to get it. You have to find the balance there. I appreciate what he's doing and like it. I'm sitting here nodding my head to it. And someone his age is getting it and appreciating it as well. You know, and one of the things I'm encouraged by young people is that they're ignoring a lot of the barriers that we put up. Okay.
Yes.
You can't get it because you're an older woman. You can't get it because you're white. You can't get it because you went here. You don't live in the right block, or you know, that's kind of, you know, that's so done and over. And the music and the art and the cultural piece and the plays, all of that has broken that down. If you can do this well, if you can give me something that is going to give me knowledge and inform me and make me think, I don't particularly care how old you are, okay, or what you look like. If your spirit is right, okay, and you're bringing something, I'm open to that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes,
And that's what I'm seeing. That's why this year it's been a schizophrenic year, right? 2020
Say the least.
crazy, and then all of these good things came out of it. And I'm a child of the 60s, and I'm watching all these people marching, young people marching, and they're all different ethnic groups and genders and all of this kind. And they're saying, okay, you know what? We're just not doing this anymore.
Right.
We're not doing that anymore. And we're not taking it. So, yeah, I love this. I mean, for such a time as this, I'm glad to be here.
Yes.
And you know, celebrating what's going on. So,
absolutely.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Fly.
Really. Mr.
Yes, sir.
Fly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
What's
sir.
going
Hey,
on?
I hit
this
pro with the
FCR
video.
stuff. I know. I hear there's a new video out. What's going on with that? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so FCR was a concept that I had called favorite Christian rapper. And so
we were talking about that, right? A little bit back.
Yeah. So and I kind of wanted to present it in a way that, you know, kind of represent how I feel about the art. I'm always upfront, and we talked about this during the last show. I'm always upfront about wanting to be a true artist. You know what I mean? And my focus is to create conversation, you know, and wanting to put my faith into my music, you know, for several reasons. And I do the art for the art, and I want to allow my lifestyle and who I am as an individual to reflect my belief. And and to be able to encourage people, because I know the journey for myself to get to this point, it didn't require someone to hit me over my head with the gospel. You know what I mean? It was just like she said, almost, it was given to me like in the form of a historian would. You know, it was educational and informative, and I found out truths that I never knew existed. That's how the gospel was given to me, and so it was digestible that way. And for me, music is just kind of another way of doing that. And so, favorite Christian rapper was like, I know a lot of people will hear my music and not be able to easily distinguish my belief because it is art driven.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are people who know me and was like, man, you know, I love Christian rappers. And so I was like, you know what, I ought to do a song called Favorite Christian Rapper.
All right.
And it kind of came from a line that I had that I heard from Young Jeezy back when I was listening to secular music a long time ago. And it's the saying that I'm your favorite rapper's favorite rapper.
Right.
And so, yeah, just kind of spin off that. And then the guy that I linked up with from Sacramento to feature on the song, he's actually my favorite Christian rapper.
Oh, okay.
And so,
that's cool, man.
it was like, it was a no-brainer. I had to do it. I had to do it with him specifically.
This video's
who's Sierra Banks?
And that's my wife. Sierra's my wife.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so, so short story long, I was in the studio recording the hook, and I hated how it sounded. You know, I wrote the hook and everything.
I understand.
J. Cruz,
you know what I mean?
It sounds just like me, man.
Yeah. And so I'm a fan.
I hate this hook.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a fan first. I'm a fan first. So when I heard me on it, I'm like, nah. My thing is like, all right, I want to put whatever's best for it. It is me or someone else. Like with me on this hook, it's just not gonna work. It don't sound the way I envisioned it. And so, you know, she's my wifeager, right? She does everything. She wears every hat that I needed to wear. And so she was in the studio with me that day, just doing videos, just different stuff for social media. And I said, you know what? And we almost kind of got into it. It was real tense because I was kind of like, sweetheart, can you?
Kind of like me today, getting my girl on the show. I was like, hey, 2 days ago, you was like, yay.
Yeah, I put on the spot, man. And she was like not comfortable. She's extremely talented. She's on the intro. She can actually sing, and she's always been good with words, but she's extra timid, man, about being in front. And so I was like, come on, do it. And I was almost like kind of trying to make her do it because I know she could. And she was like, no, I don't want to do it. I ain't going to do it. So she ended up doing it anyway. And it turned out perfect, better than I ever could have done it.
It did.
All right. Well, that's the setup, right? All right. So we're going to run it. And people that are checking us out on Facebook, once in a while the Facebook police come out, you know, and they sometimes stop the audio.
But it does come back.
Yeah, I own all the rights to this music. Tell them to stop playing.
There you go. So on YouTube, you'll be uninterrupted, and we hope so here as well. So let's run it. FCR, Yahweh.
Yes, sir.
All right, give you one last chance.
Listen, man, I don't know who you think I am, yo, but you got to have the wrong person, right? And you holding me against my will. You need to let me go.
I'm gonna let you go this time, but I'm gonna catch you next time. You better believe it. Captain, his friend Mission's coming into town, getting into the airport.
F.L.Y. Forever lives Yahweh.
Put a tail on him and we're gonna figure out what's going on.
Send me auto with the flow. Okay. Know I got an extra clip. Yeah. Thank God for the mercy. Praying that I never slip. 45 on the church. Yeah, I'm back for the chip. And I ain't never letting go. Oh, no. Not a game in my grip. Don't trip. I done seen enough to make a grown man throw the towel in. Game change where they slang Kang and the gang straight wild in. Catch a body, no wit sick, but lip zip to the trial end. Flew south on that freaking fly. Now I'm flying not to put miles in. Woo. Born again, new creature. Dump the curve, hit the meter. Yeah. Living word my allegiance. If I don't teach it, I'm a preacher. Yeah. CHH, I'm a keeper. Ask Jesse about the feature. Yeah. They don't really want me with me, make them take a loss like I'm alopecia. Okay. Got the peace, I'ma keep it. Keep the fame, I don't need it. Throwing blessing my way. Auto back on my receive it. Gotta see it to believe it. Handle beef like a vegan. Sickle cells like anemics. Play the beat up, better eat it. Catch a case, Michael Jack, I'ma be the lawyer in the courtroom, undefeated.
Is he a Christian rapper or a rapper Christian? If he go harder than your favorite rapper, what's the difference? Okay, I might take a minute. I ain't got all day. Yeah, I'm on a mission. He's your favorite rapper's favorite Christian rapper. Yeah, I know. Walking through the valley like he been in Napa. Paper bag in the alley could have been a trapper. He's your favorite rapper.
All of you, none
favorite
of me.
Christian rapper.
Hey, I never brag on myself. Facts. I only brag on my God. I had to come from the streets. Where they clap, I'm not talking applause. Look, they wanna turn them a beast. I've been a wave, it ain't come with a beach. He bought my soul, it ain't come with a lease. I'm always giving 100 at least. Hey, young Tony, made in his image, so he getting crafty. Hey, watch your tone, you been getting sassy. I'm in the field, I been getting active. I follow rules that come from the master. Yeah, you moving past it. Hey, look, that's a disaster. Yeah, we moving past it. Hey, if they ain't put me in their top 5, better burn their mouth like hot fries. Wanna challenge me? That's not wise. That's a violation. You are size, man. Yeah, I'm rapping, but I'm more Christian, man. This beat knock like door ditching. Got more winning, got more vision. When this verse stops, caught a more attention.
Is he a Christian rapper or a rapper Christian? If he go harder than your favorite rapper, what's the difference? Okay, I'll listen. This might take a minute. I ain't got all day. Yeah, I'm on a mission. He's your favorite rapper's favorite Christian rapper. Yeah, I know. Walking through the valley like he been in Napa. Paper bag in the alley could have been a trapper. He's your favorite rapper's favorite Christian rapper. Yeah.
Man, so many good things about that. Incredible things. Whew. Yo, born again, new creature.
Jump the curve, hit the meter.
So man, as soon as you said, I said, what? And
That's the concept for the video was if you I want to create cinema with the videos. There's so many I don't know, seems like cookie cutter, hip-hop
pointless
videos.
Yeah, no meaning.
Right.
Point.
Yeah,
Exactly.
no meaning, and it just I don't know. They're just uninterested. And in the digital age, I just feel like the media needs to be creative, right? And so I always try to create these storylines, which I've written every storyline for all the videos that I have. And shout out to my homie Block. He's actually the first person to ever recorded a song with. We've been rocking for 15 years.
Wow.
And so he does all my videos, and that's kind of a partnership we have too. And so I had this concept where, if you notice, Doc, there was a sign at the end about education reform, which is something I'm extremely passionate about education reform. And so I've always, I grew up in the inner city on the west side of Chicago, and so public schools was always challenging. We didn't really have books, and so I remember all those things from my childhood, and also now being in my adulthood. I want to have a message and a purpose for what I do. And so Mission was actually helping me with that initiative, right, to kind of raise awareness for education reform, something that I'm passionate about, and all the little things that I could think about. I even talked to a group of kids about, like, of course, the first thing they said they didn't like about school was the lunch. They were like, man, lunch is trash, right? But, for like 12
At least they
years,
have a cafeteria, right,
Right.
Dr. Giles Barber?
For 12 years, I was a chef by trade. I understand, and now I've worked for 5 or 6 years in the nutrition and food service department, managing in the hospital, and so I know how important nutrition is. And so people don't understand that. One of the reasons why they were providing breakfast and lunch in schools, because kids need to be nourished in order to be able to learn. Absolutely. At their best level. And so if the kids go to school, they're not eating. So any little thing like that, that they felt was important or relevant to them. I know, especially in the urban community, one thing we have not gotten as much of in previous generations was being taught money. They don't teach you about it in school. They don't teach you how to handle your finances, how to handle just your resources in general. And so that's something that's extremely about credit. Things that are going to impact your entire life, childhood, all the way into your late adulthood, 30-year mortgages, all that kind of stuff that you're into, that your credit has a direct impact on, that they never teach you about. There's little things like that. And so the concept was kind of built around that idea.
Waiting for the unfreeze.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, is that me right now? No.
Nah, it's
see, I wish.
No.
Man, that I saw it the other day, and I was like,
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. That was his wife doing the hook.
Yeah, Sierra
That's crazy,
Banks,
right?
huh? Very,
Sounds like,
very good.
Sounds like she has a little MC
That
future
girl,
if she wanted
that
one.
girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you know,
And
I
I
mean,
like the sign. The little girl was holding teaching herself money.
Yeah.
We have a professor at the at college, Professor Pearsall, that does that.
That's what I thought of too.
His focus is on teaching about money. I wish we could, and I'm kind of sure that I don't want to make this statement because I don't know that there is nothing in the public schools that looks at that. I don't know, but it would certainly be nice to have a class, maybe not, once a week or however they could structure it, where not only are children taught about the stock market and credit and percentages of interest and actually have checking accounts. Back in the day, we used to have a savings account that you could do through the school when you put your little quarter in or whatever, and go show them some of those things. And I used to
basic financing, right?
Exactly. It's basic financing, early. Because
look how many people it's just not basic to, though. You know what I mean? Someone
I know. I know.
And you're making a great point because you don't hear about it. And imagine if it was introduced in the 3rd, 4th grade level, basic.
Yeah.
Wow.
I hope we get Yahweh back to wrap up the show. Yo, we got Felix in the back too. Want to bring in Felix?
Yeah, bring him in.
Felix, what's going on, Felix?
What's happening?
Felix, hanging out with us.
Were you feeling that freedom corner?
Yo, that Yahweh was hard.
He is, man.
I'm big into Christian rap music, so I listen to Lecrae and
yeah, me too.
this group that calls themselves God Over Money.
I like that.
I mean, these guys they're great music, and God Over Money is like a real great. These guys were guys that at one time were gangbangers and were living the crazy life, and now they've turned their life over to God, and it's like inspiration to listen to these guys. So
that's great.
Absolutely. I think someone's popping through back there. I think it might be Tony V, actually. Yeah, I think it's Tony V. What's up, Tony V?
Tony, he's hung out with us. What up, brother?
What's up? I want to jump back in. I saw y'all were done doing what you're doing. I tried to catch up as quick as possible, running around the house.
It's all good, man.
I hear that.
We all.
Oh, mom wants to live for the live show. What's this at? 9:48. Sorry, mama.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I agree with you, man. I agree that a lot of it can be inspirational. You hear people. I was saying that before too. And I'm sure Christian rappers like Yahweh probably hear this all the time. But Lecrae would be somebody we shout out. It's kind of like Mission, right? A high skill MC. That when you listen to someone just like Yahweh, someone have to tell you it's a Christian rapper. Yahweh makes doesn't pull any punches. It's right there on Front Street. Where a lot of rappers, you can listen to Lecrae for a whole song and not know he's a Christian rapper. You know what I mean? And it's Lecrae's serious skills. So.
Another one that's really good too is a guy named Gemstone.
I think I've heard of him.
Gemstone was actually signed by Lupe Fiasco at one time, and he hated the industry, so he left. And all he does is he's actually a preacher now, and he does Christian rap music. He just hated the industry so bad. He left millions of dollars on the table to just get out of the industry. He just didn't want no part of it anymore.
Yeah, it'll do that to you. It'll do that to you.
Independent.
This industry will do that to you.
Yeah.
What you say, Tony? What you say, Tony?
I said the industry's crazy. Independent's the way to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why we do what we do the way we do it. It's like, yeah, we wanna get known and our music pushed out, but we do it the hard way. We rather, I'm sure if some of the guys on my team really tried, they could probably get signed somewhere, but it's like.
Yeah, the question becomes why. You know what I mean? I saw Jadakiss recently. I don't know if y'all saw his little clip. They were talking about, someone asked Jadakiss about, what would be his formula? Would you ever approach a major? He's like, man, He goes, why in the world would anyone want to do that? He's like, that's, I could think of reasons why you'd want to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's a
Yeah,
decision
but the
everyone has to make.
majors are just ripping off artists. They're taking advantage of the artists. You know, all they offer is 360 deals to these artists.
If you can get one short enough, which you can't, then they're great. You know, I mean, the counter to that argument is, you know, I know tons of old school artists who are still getting that check. You know, the bag doesn't come as often as it may for some of the newer artists, but because they had that one classic that was promoted maybe back in the 90s or something, or the 80s in some cases, right? They are living off that, you know, doing 20 shows a year and picking up, you know, 5,000 to 10,000 a pop. It's not a bad way to live when you only have to, you know, work 20 days a year. You know what I'm saying? You do that math, and if it wasn't for the major, that never would have happened. So there's that argument, but how often does that happen? Not very often.
But then you look at artists like Joyner Lucas, who got signed to Sony or whoever it was. I can't even remember. Or Atlantic. It was Atlantic.
Yeah.
And you know, he wasn't on there long, and he decided, you know, he got out of his contract and went back independent.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's no money in it for there's no money for the whatever you sign for that amount of time. You're not going to see any of that money. It's once you get out of the deal and then you have the name, that's the payday, right?
Yeah.
So shorter the better. You know, if you can get.
I mean, a lot of people sign just because they got that backing from the label. They got all that money to do so many things, but a lot of artists don't realize that afterwards.
Yeah, but
that's like a bank loan.
Absolutely, it's 100% a bank loan. Yeah.
So why not, as independent artists, get a bank loan and just do it ourselves?
Right. And then it goes back to what Dr. Jarvis Barber was talking about credit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, do you have that finance ability to even, you know, a lot of people, you know, I try to think about, like, if I was 18, would I have been able to get a loan?
It's all about timing.
Come on. Yeah.
If they had approached me, if I had the talent I had now, and a label approached me like 10 years ago, I would have jumped on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Even 6 years ago, I would have dove right at it.
Well, yeah, in reality is
there was only like 3 labels.
Yeah, look at COVID has created a whole new vision for people. Like, you know, again, bringing people together and creating a team and unity to be able to scale things at a high level is key. Where it's like, you know, you don't want to. I think that there is a place for the label, you know. But I like the fact when I was thinking about it, I'm like, you know, I'm gonna pick. Like, I went to Freedom Corner. I'm like, I'm gonna pick my label. And majors, again, if it makes sense, because like what I believe in is you launch an album, you get that loan or whatever from that, you get the, like Pro said, notoriety, said that to me. You get that stamp of that label, that just certifies you. And then it's what's your plan after that project is wrapped up? Do you have a game plan to take that and use that as an asset? Yeah, that's an asset. Just having that stamp on there, Def Jam.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Getting that stamp. And if it is a reality 360 for one, you know,
Like
again,
cosign.
yeah, if it's 10 years or 5 years or something or forever, no, you don't do that. But
yeah, these contracts, I've talked to, you know, I've done enough shows where I've talked to like people in the industry and the things they've told me that they've gone through, it's just like, why sign with a major label? I mean, this is my opinion. I've heard a lot of nightmares about the industry, man, from people in the industry.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, I've done a whole series of talks on it about, you know, the specifics of the finances and did those as multiple lessons in a lot of my classes. And, you know, students are always shocked when they first find out about, you know, like how broke, you know, the typical who they believe to be a superstar is. And it's insane, you know. We always get shown the 20 people in the entire industry that are successful, and we're trained not to look at the other like 5,000 who you can name that you've never heard of anymore, who've disappeared because
but
it's
biggest
untenable.
problem.
What you say?
I've noticed a lot of like the artists talking about that are broke. These artists, it's because they tried to live a lifestyle they couldn't afford. They throw money out, they do this, they do that. They don't think about it. You know what I mean? If I ever made it to a point where I had enough money that I could blow like that, I would be putting it back into something that meant something to me and my community and my people. I'm not gonna.
Would you have done that?
I mean,
10
yeah, I
years
might
ago,
go to
you
the
too?
club a few times or something like that, but I'm. Oh fuck no!
Right. So it's a learning process.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I was in a bad place 10 years ago.
And that's what they do. They take
You know what I
advantage
mean?
of younger
Yeah,
people.
no,
who have not had
definitely,
the
I
life
agree to that.
experience.
But my point is, that's what they did.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
this is where the history comes in. This is where you need someone to
I
come
mean, I'm
back
36. I should have learned this shit years ago.
and actually say that and say, you know, this, you shouldn't throw the money. You need to be able to read the contract before you sign it to understand that you're paying for those hotels on the tour and you're paying for all that champagne or whatever it is you're drinking. And that's coming out of your end of these profits.
Yeah.
But again, you don't know that. You know, I always thought there should be classes for professional athletes and anyone going into any of those industries where someone is schooling you and saying, okay, this is a great opportunity, but let me tell you the pitfalls along the way.
Right.
And here are the individuals who are telling you, because everyone is not Jay-Z, everyone is not Beyonce. You know, and they're wonderful. I happen to have drank the Kool-Aid. I love Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Right.
But everyone is not going to have it like that. And they've got horror stories. You know, the album the year where Beyonce got all those Grammys, her record company told her she didn't have a hit on her album. They not one. And she pushed ahead, and then, you know, you see her with all these Grammys. You know, so just because you have all the money, it's not like you didn't come through some barriers. It wasn't like someone didn't say to you, you know what, you need to lose 20 pounds, or you don't have the right look, or that song doesn't sound right. You
By
know,
the way, Jay-Z and Nipsey Hussle got a new video out too. It's
and
just
see,
came out 3 days.
you know, and then that doesn't keep you from hardships. You know, you get killed. Someone doesn't understand that what you're doing with your music is uplifting the community and it's benefiting everyone, and you lose your life. Right? And so people need to understand all of this, that there's nothing you're not the money doesn't protect you from things. You're still human, you're still having these same issues. You know, so hopefully someone like Yahweh is an example of how you do it the right way, and listening to you talk about the way that you've chosen. And even to say 10 years ago, I would have taken money, or 20 years ago and done some crazy stuff. But I've matured to the point that now I know the struggle I'm in is the way I want to do it because my spirit is intact. All right.
Yeah.
And with that, gentlemen, I'm going to have to leave you. I
Us
have
too.
enjoyed.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I know it's that time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much,
Thank
Dr.
you so
Jowers
much.
Barber.
And for
Tony,
those people
Felix.
who put in the chat and want to know about
You've
the
been
public,
very helpful. So she's
well, thank you so much. And I work on the public trip for the community, and Pro Lyrica will be important about that.
Dr.
So
Ploy.
thank you all very much. I look forward to doing this again.
Have a good night.
Thank
Have
you.
a wonderful evening.
She doesn't know it, but she's gonna be our on-call historian. We're gonna be like, wait a minute, let's
I
bring in
know.
Dr.
Yeah,
Jowers.
hey, come in 5 minutes, drop some knowledge on us. That was great.
But it's like this guy just made this comment on this Gary Chazinski. I don't even know if I'm saying his name right.
Yeah.
He said it's sad when artists lose the rights to their music, and it's so true. 'Cause that's another thing with signing with labels.
Yep.
You lose the right to your masters a lot of times.
Yeah.
Why would any artist give up the right to their masters? I
Well,
don't
here's
get.
here's how. Here's how. You have no money, and I'm gonna offer you
80,000,
I'm gonna offer you a signing advance up front, and you're not worried. I mean, you don't have representation that's proper. I mean, that's why, right? Yeah. I mean,
You know, and it's sad, but I don't only blame the industry. I just wanted to say this real quick. It's even us independent artists who are just trying to like perform at shows, and I find that a lot of times even promoters are the worst people to deal with. And I say this, and I'm a small time promoter myself, because understand, without your local talent for that show that you're putting on, that you're looking for openers, and I book openers for shows all the time, they sit there and they don't want to pay openers. They want the openers to pay to play so you can pay for that headliner.
Yeah.
and don't want to give nothing to these artists that open it. Because without those openers, you don't even have a show, honestly, because they're the ones who are bringing the people in.
Right.
Right. That's right.
This headline is coming from wherever he's coming from, and he's just coming there to get his check and perform.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, you got a packed show.
Right, homie just made like 50 grand doing whatever the hell he was doing. He's doing this for the hell of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you know, I've been lucky because, you know, people tell me my gift is I have a gift to gab. So over the years, I've been able to put, you know, just about all my guys, some of the newer ones haven't had the opportunity yet, but we do shows. I get these guys on major shows with major headliners without paying to play. There's not an artist on my team that can say, I've had to pay to play on a show. We'll sell tickets, you know, and we try to make our money in that way. But it's just a lot of, like, I've had promoters, I'll give you tickets to sell so you guys can perform, but you're not getting no money in return. And it's like, wait a minute. It's like, you know.
Yeah. But see, that's the difference. That's knowledge. You know, if you don't have that knowledge, again, going back to what Dr. Giles was saying, like, you know, financing is huge, and most people don't understand it. And most people can't even figure that the first thing you got to do is get a job, man. Get a good job so you can get some money to deal with these things, right? Or if you are gonna do a show, get paid for it. You know, smart.
I understand that you got to invest money into this music business. You can't do it without investing money.
Right.
But there's got to be a little give and take from both sides. And I find that it's very hard sometimes with a lot of promoters. I mean, I built up enough of a name over the past few years that I don't go through that struggle, but I see a lot of other people going through that struggle. And it's like, just because they're not part of my team, I stand up for what's right for independent artists, local artists who are trying to get somewhere in this.
Yeah.
We got to pay for gas to travel to these shows. We got to eat, have a little drink at the show or whatever. It's not going to kill you to throw a few bucks to these artists that are opening up these shows. At least pay for the gas, their little couple of drinks. You know,
if I go to a show and they're like, yo, $46, that'll pay for my gas.
You know.
And what I tell to all artists too, I mean, I went through that for years doing that. And, you know, quite honestly, if I was to go into Boston right now and go do a show, I'd be lucky to make, you know, a few $100 to do a local show. I'd be lucky. Whereas you can do them at a college and you can multiply that by 10. But artists always want to play at the corner club that's on their street or whatever. That
actually, man, we
does nothing for you.
Right.
We're trying to find that connect to get into doing college shows, man. Because I want to do.
This is what I say to all artists to really tell them. I know we can't be on too much longer up here, but we do have another show. Anybody checking it out, you can still check out Friday Night Live too. They're up on the other side of our network
right now.
But I would say this, Felix, is it's not so much of there's not really a connect so much. I mean, there's organizations that you can get with. NACA is one of the ones that I joined for 1 year. NACA is the organization that and they're pay for play too. You got to go just like all of them, right? So it might cost you about $1. You know, if you think it's a good investment as a label, it's probably better than for an artist. But for an artist, it'll cost you a rack just to get in the door with them. You set up, it's basically like a trade show where artists meet the college representatives, right? They come through and they meet you at a booth and they go, let me hear your music. What are you about? What do you do? How much do you charge, right? But you're there with like 1,000 other artists that are doing the same, maybe not 1,000, like maybe like 300 other artists. And that's where schools pick their artists from. And if you're interesting and relevant, you can get booked at a lot of these. And if they got someone like you who can do the talking for the artist, it can be a lot of people don't know about NACA. NACA is definitely, look it up, just NACA, and but it's not cheap. It'll cost you.
That's pretty cool,
you know, a few
man.
hundred to do this, a few hundred to do this.
I actually know guys that been on the college circuit for a bit now, and they make now they're making decent money off the doing shows at colleges. You know.
That's it.
It has bought me many things. It is. You know, it's funny. Like I do more shows in the last probably 5 years.
Many a thing.
I probably, yeah, no, for real. I've probably done more shows in the last 5 years that are paid shows in the last 5 years than I've probably ever done in my whole career. And it's because I understand the college game. But here's the thing. It's not for everyone. If you're an average act with an average sound and you're about average stuff, and you really take the inventory on the people on your label and say, who's really interesting? Because the thing is, you can't just be a good artist. You have to have a story. You have to be really, really popping, like on a level that everyone already knows you anyways. But if you're not, just assume it's like any artist we bring up on the show who's just dope, and you're like, yo, they're dope. Just being dope is what you need to get through the door, but you're going to be up against 200, 300 other artists, so you need something that says, why should they bring you to their school? You know what I mean? Like, Yahweh would be a perfect example, because he has a story and a catch. You got to develop that for each artist. They have to, and I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir, pun intended, but it's like, you got to have that.
You know, that's one thing I feel like we are bringing something different to the table. I look at the industry overall right now, just music in general, not just the industry, underground, whatever. It's too many people. The music's getting really watered down, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You got those true artists that are great. Everybody's trying to sound too much the same these days.
It's a constant.
Yeah.
No originality.
Right.
No
It's been a constant
originality.
for like 20 years. I feel though, it's just so many more people to see now doing the same thing. But you're right.
Yeah.
But it's like, how do you get to your artist? How do you tell your artist, right, as their like manager kind of person in their life? How do you tell them to diversify and to not even diversify, but to individualize? Give me a 20-second reason why I should book you, because that's what it is. You got someone walking by in 15 seconds, and it can't just be yo, check out my music. They got to know why. They got to remember you, and they got to walk away and go, that's the professor who raps. See what I'm saying? You got to be, your name has to be quick. It has to be easy. They got to be, you can't just be like Yahweh. I'm going to remember that. Yo, he's a Christian rapper named Yahweh. Booked. You know, he ain't going to book everybody, because not everybody's into Christian rap, but the people who are, they're booking Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? You got to come with that kind of quickness. You know, like, Tony, what's gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like,
And
you
with a
think of the
video
same
like
question.
his,
What's
that
gonna
video
do it
was
for me?
dope.
Yeah, no doubt. But like Tony's joint's banging, right? Like, so, but how do they remember who
If
Tony
you
is?
can,
gotta be able to.
There was a dude, actually, perfect example. Right.
What
I have
happened?
like I said, my latency's messed up, so you guys are a little delayed. But
No doubt.
Yeah. Anyway, so there's this dude in Boston I ran into. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. It goes by ADR, and he's very, to me, he was very flashy and it caught my eye. And as I was walking to the liquor store, of course, he come up to me and he started spitting at me, but he wasn't rapping. He was just talking to me, and he was trying to show me. He's like, "Yo, you like music? You like music?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I like music." And he's like, "Yo, check this out." And he hands it to me, and it wasn't a CD, it wasn't a flyer, it was a card, and I don't remember exactly what it had on it, but it was just, it caught my eye, and I was like, all right, well, what kind of music do you do? And he told me raps. He played some of his songs. I instantly bought one check. Like, he grabbed me.
Yeah, you
know what
gotta
I
have
mean?
that.
And he was just like, check this shit out. You can't go.
Salesman, a good salesman.
Yeah, you have to be able to.
Oh yeah, we're
yeah, you
always
gotta-
selling
you
a
gotta be able to
product.
talk.
We're selling a product, and that's how we got to take this. These artists I have under this label, I'm selling a product to these people, and I have to be willing to take my word of what I'm saying, that we're gonna come out and with originality. We're gonna come out with just something you ain't heard yet. You know,
Yeah, right.
outside of a lot of things you're hearing, we're going to be that much different than what you're hearing and like I was talking to Jay Cruz, because I don't want to keep you guys. We talked a little bit on the phone before the show, and I'm like, look, man, I got to get you and Pro Quo to come out and do a show with us. You know, and when you see us, the shows we put on, every one of the guys, these guys, Tony himself, great performer. Illiton, Fresh, who you saw last week, R3D. These guys on stage, it's a whole different ballgame. and we put on great shows. You know, and I don't say this because these guys work with me. It's the truth. I go to a lot of hip hop shows. I don't just go to shows my guys are at. I watch people performing all the time. So when I watch my guys perform, I watch them constantly, because if I see any tendencies that, you know, maybe you should change this or stop doing that, or, you know, I tell them. And Lil Tim, for a long time when I first met him, we all know he can rap, he can sing, but his stage presence in the beginning wasn't there. But as soon as we talked about it, boom, within a couple of shows that you could see that stage presence coming out in him.
Yeah.
You know,
Paula Knights just put, sweet Jesus, it's like the evolution of beards.
The first,
I'm the baby.
Sorry, I know we're almost done, but Felix is first time I met Felix. First time I met Felix was the first show I did after a year, and it took me about 30 seconds to get like the niche going. You know what I mean? And I felt like as soon as I got on that stage, it's home for me. Like I said earlier, I'm an entertainer. You know what I mean? So stage presence is a big thing for
yeah. The first time I saw Tony, because I was putting it out there. It's like I'm looking for people to perform at my show besides my guys. And Tony was one of the first people to hit me up. I'm like, all right, you're on. Didn't hear much of his music, but all right, I give everybody a chance. But as soon as I seen this boy on stage and heard him, I'm like, I invited him to my house the next day because he was staying in Manchester at a hotel. And I'm like, come to my house. I want to talk to you. I'm like, look, I want to make you part of Second and None. I had no doubt I wanted this kid on my team. You know,
but yo, boys, look, we do have to wrap it up.
I jump around if I got to. I'll talk to my team.
That's it, man. But look, we want to thank y'all. Thank you guys for hanging with us the whole show. We appreciate it. And you know, Tony being the first. Actually, it was Tony, Just Cause, and Lily, like first ones on the 5 Minutes of Flames, and it was a cool new reality what we just brought in. We followed the schedule pretty good today, Pro. I feel good about what we did.
Yeah.
Hey, anytime you guys, got some room, let me know if you get, because like I said, man, we'll come on. I got other guys, that want to get on here. So,
for sure. Yeah. No, we're gonna be in touch, man. We'll set stuff up for maybe March or something. The end of March, we'll have some room because we're stacked.
Yeah. But whenever you guys got room, we're here. All you gotta do is hit me up and I'll set it up.
Yeah. All right, man. We'll see y'all later.
All right, thank you. Have a good night, guys.
Peace out, y'all.
Peace.
Thanks again for
Stay
coming.
safe out
guys.
there.
Thank you very much.
You too.
You're very welcome, Tony.
Cool stuff.
Felix, we'll be talking.
All right, peace out.
Peace, y'all.
All right, Pro Code fans, we out.
Yeah.